this week.
Correspondent Jeremy House. An inflation barometer that's closely watched by the Fed rose 0.6% last month, and the rate of inflation over the past year holding at a 40-year high.
By definition,
Let's hope that at least some of the tens of thousands of civilians trapped in the Ukrainian port city of Mariupol will soon be on their way to safety. The BBC's Jonah Fisher says another evacuation plan has been agreed to by the combatants.
Well, we have to be very cautious about these humanitarian corridors because in the past they have been announced, and for various reasons on the ground they haven't actually translated into people getting out. But what we know is that Russia announced that it would be observing a ceasefire and that it appears to be working with international agencies to try and get people out. From the Ukrainian side, they have said that they are sending 45 buses into Mariupol to bring people out.
Meanwhile, it appears that the Russians have broken their promise to scale back their attacks in Ukraine. On Wall Street, ahead of this morning's opening bell, the Dow futures down 31 points, Nasdaq futures 28 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The Russian economy is forecast to shrink, according to new figures from a British-based bank.
The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development paints a bleak picture for both the Russian and Ukrainian economies as a result of the ongoing war. It says the conflict has caused the greatest supply shock for 50 years, with the Russian economy forecast to shrink by 10% and the Ukrainian by as much as 20%. The bank's chief economist, Beatu Yavorchik, says Ukraine will become a much poorer country even if reconstruction gets underway next year. It's estimated $100 million worth of infrastructure has been destroyed.
That's the BBC's Richard Galpin. People across Japan celebrating the peak cherry blossom viewing season this week without the COVID-19 restrictions that were in place for the 2 years. News and analysis, townhall.com. It is not a happy ending to the search for a missing Nevada woman.
Authorities said late Wednesday the remains of 18-year-old Naomi Irion, who was kidnapped over 2 weeks ago, were found in a remote part of northern Nevada on Tuesday. In a statement, the Lyon County Sheriff's Office said an autopsy Wednesday confirmed the body was Irion. Earlier Wednesday, 41-year-old Troy Driver was charged with first-degree kidnapping. Irion was last seen around 5:25 a.m. March 12th in her car in a Walmart parking lot. Security video showed a masked man wearing a hooded sweatshirt entered her car. I'm Mike Rossio.
Severe storms that included at least 2 tornadoes injured several people, damaged homes and businesses, and brought down power lines in Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas overnight. And forecasters say the southeast could get raked by powerful storms today. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters. That's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. Nope. Mixmaster Mike Winters out today. Illin. So this is the weird thing. He's out. It was expected, but then it was also unexpected. And, okay, so let me explain. So we had set this up because Mike had a colonoscopy today. He set up everything, went and started his process yesterday, started taking the stuff and feeling the effects of things, so to speak. But then, come to find out, well, he was actually supposed to be at the colonoscopy yesterday. It was a scheduling kerfuffle in his head that led him to miss his appointment by one day. So we had set this up that I was going to do his show for him, but then, well, situations being what they are, got rescheduled to Monday. So he, was going to make it in today. Cool.
Yeah.
Plan accordingly. And then, of course, fate is what fate is. And fate decided to just wreck Mike's insides. So he woke up sick this morning, not feeling well, not feeling himself. So he's going to be out this morning, but he will be back inside your radios to wrap things up for you tomorrow morning. And then he'll be out again on Monday because, well, he's going to be, out. Literally. Unconscious.
Yeah.
Out. He'll be out. So, yep, there you go. That's the general TLDR of why you got this idiot inside your radios on this here Thursday morning. But welcome to it. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters. Hopefully this Thursday morning finds you well. How you doing, Tanner?
I'm doing well.
You doing well?
Yeah.
After the day from hail?
Well, there was no hail, but there was lightning.
It was crazy yesterday.
And it was just like, okay, foreboding. It's coming. We know it's coming. Lots of nice rain. It's good for the city, though.
Sure.
Absolutely great. Well, just not good for that particular moment.
Sustained rain would be nice. If it didn't just burst on us for like 20 minutes and then just go away.
Yeah, it was a good 20, 30 minutes of just
But
and then the sun came out and it was really nice.
It was on either side of it. It was actually a rather nice day. It was cool out, it wasn't like overly windy.
Well, I think it made it colder than what the temperature seemed.
Sure, but it wasn't.
I was very cold.
Were you cold?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was enjoying the temperatures because it didn't feel like freezing outside. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
But it was fantastic.
But then you had to also deal
just
with
not for the baseball and softball stuff.
Right. You had to deal with sports issues and all that fun stuff. And that's electronics, and when electronics and moisture are combined, unless of course we're talking about Camp Invention and the fish that they're making, robots and water don't tend to mix. So
no,
I wouldn't recommend it. But
waterproof robot.
Oh yeah, that's why you got to get yourself a waterproof robot. Everybody knows that. But alas, we move on. We've got plenty to get to in today's show. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to replay the interview Mike had yesterday. In the 9 o'clock hour with Mr. Elliot Rodriguez, who is starting his new venture with Loan Depot. So we'll tell you all about Loan Depot and how Elliot can he knows a thing or two about a thing or two, and he can help you out when it comes to your financial situation.
I was gonna say he's always got somebody on his page.
That's true.
Somebody's getting something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dude definitely knows what he's doing. So maybe take a listen. He might drop a couple freebies inside your ears this hour. Coming up next hour in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, we'll be sitting down with Miss Amy McVeigh-Teas and Desi Aguilar. With this morning, she wears so many different hats, does Miss Amy. But this morning, we're going to be chatting Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, talking about the team leadership event that's happening over there. So we'll dive into that coming up in just a bit in the 8 o'clock hour. And then coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we sitting down and chat with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society, chatting up all the goings on over there, the animals, and all the stuff that's available. Waiting for you there at the Humane Society and also at the thrift store. So we'll dive into that coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus, of course, your hourly features, which this hour includes Kim Commando, your town hall business news, updates, and whatever else comes our way. So I got to tell you, Tanner, I am starting to officially get excited.
Ooh,
Yeah.
for what?
It didn't feel like it was actually going to happen at first, and then it was like, okay, it's getting closer. So I didn't know what was actually happening fully until, we'll call it like 4 months ago. My friends, girlfriend at the time, and my friends planned a trip to Vegas. That's all I knew, is we were going to Vegas, and there was another surprise. I wasn't sure what the other surprise was.
Well, I was going to say Vegas. Enough said.
Vegas, exactly.
It's already nice.
I've never been. I'm super excited to go, just to,
M&M World?
Exactly. And I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to save as much as possible. So I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy like, can we go to the $2.99 buffet? So that's going to be me. I'm going to be like looking around at the ground because everybody I've talked to said there's cash everywhere all over the ground. So I'm just going to be like eyeballing the ground for any kind of cash I can find. But
in Vegas?
Yeah, that's what I talked to. Well,
that's where you train the crows. You train the crows in Vegas, and then go get you some money.
Telling you, the person I talked to said that they walked by several times. They walked by just cash sitting on the ground. Other things too that are legal there, and as of Friday will be legal here.
It's funny. Wait, what?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
talking about different stuff.
Yeah,
ads for a certain commodity.
Yeah, not necessarily ads for
that people provide.
But yes, that indeed.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've been excited about Vegas. Omega Mart is another thing. I'm dying to go to Omega Mart.
That's in Vegas?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For those who don't know, Omega Mart is a Meow Wolf installation. It's like an art museum piece in Vegas, and it's set up like a grocery store. But it's like a grocery store from an alternate dimension. And the ad as they run on online are just chef's kiss level perfect. I love their ads. Anyways, so that was already super excited about that. But then I find out the reason that we're actually going to Vegas, which Vegas already cool. My friend let it slip out. We're going to see AJR.
Ooh.
Now, that most of the people I've told that to, they're like, neat.
Well, is that a person?
AJR,
or a group?
No, it's a group. It's actually three brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the.
That's neat.
I can't remember the Andrew. I think it's Andrew, Jack, and Ryan met. Anyways, so the song everybody knows them for is Bang. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song, everybody come hang.
Pretend you know it.
Let's go out with a bang, 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 bang. That's like the known song. Okay, so but they're just a specific time in my life I found this band, and it like got me through a lot of really hard times. So it hits on a different level for me. So I'm really excited about that. But
make sure you fake cry /real cry on TikTok.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna fake on TikTok maybe.
Well, that's why I said fake /real.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. It's finally hit that moment, that period where it's like, okay, it's actually gonna happen now.
Yeah,
it's real, man. So I'm just really excited.
Plus, I'm happy for you.
I need a flipping vacation, man. I'm so tired, and the pandemic, and
it's probably gonna be hot though.
Yeah, and you've met our boss. I mean, I'm just tired, man. Oh, yeah. So
we're doing okay.
Oh,
though.
It's gonna suck, dude. I'm going to Vegas in June. It is going to suck so bad, which is why I found out there's a water park there. You can actually pay for an all-day pass. So our plan is...
You're not supposed to swim in the fountains, Sean.
Well, we're going to do that. I don't think I'm not going to slip and slide across the Bellagio installation. But you pay for an all-day pass. So my thought is we pay for this pass. We go for a little while, cool off, go do some other stuff, go back, cool off a bit, and just pop in and out. Of course, this is Vegas. I'm sure it's going to take us 2 hours to get anywhere. So there's that. But it's still going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, just had to fill some time. 15 minutes after 7 o'clock Let's get you up to date with that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 36 degrees around Roswell Way, starkly colder than it was yesterday. And boy, howdy, was a feeling it. Humidity currently 79%, winds out of the west at about 6 miles an hour with a barometer at about 29.96 and a dew point of 30 degrees. Looking at mostly sunny skies, getting warmer today, warming up to about 68 degrees for the high. Actually, you know what I forgot to do? Mike, despite his age, he keeps things at an incredibly small font. I'm nearsighted, all right? I have to blow this thing up to I'm 87 levels. There we go. 69 for the high today under mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the west at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southeast later in the afternoon. Partly cloudy and a low of around 43 for tonight. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour. As I said, things starting to warm back up significantly moving into your weekend. Looking at 79 for the high on Friday. Winds out of the south 5 to 15. Mostly clear on Friday night. Dropping down to 39. And then for your weekend, and then sunny and 83 on Saturday. Winds out of the north 5 to 10, becoming 10 to 15 later in the afternoon. Mostly clear and 47 for the overnight low. Then on Sunday, sunny skies, 89 for the high. We're donkey lipping 90 degrees. Yes, I'm still trying to make donkey lipping a thing. We're donkey lipping 90 degrees on Sunday with a high of 89 degrees and sunshine. They're not even calling for a whole lot of wind, so I'm going to soak that in. 89 for the high on Sunday, 50 for the low on Sunday night, and back up to 78 for the high on Monday. 17 minutes after 7 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these here bills, and after these, the sit-down that Mike had with Mr. Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot. That's coming up on the other side of these. Stick around.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter. Fergalicious. Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job. Fergalicious.
For people suffering with joint pain, simple movement feels like just taking a step feels like, and lifting your arm can feel like. Don't let joint pain be in charge of your life. The skilled orthopedic experts at Loveless Medical Group SCORE are helping more people take back their lives with some of the most advanced surgeries in the region. We're doing more than restoring joints, we're restoring lives. Call Loveless Medical Group SCORE today at 575-625-3300 so life can feel like,
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning, Elliot Rodriguez back with us with a new home, now with the Lone Depot. Good morning, Elliot. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Good morning, Roswell.
Good deal.
It's been a few.
It's been, the weather's been a little crazy this last couple days here, up and down, hot one minute, windy and cold the next, but a little rain here and there. So, that's... I see the world we live in. It's not deterring people from buying homes. Seems like houses, as soon as they go up on the market, there's multiple offers and things are going pretty quick right now. So if you're a seller, it's a great market to be in. But buyer gets a little competitive right now. So
very competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been awesome as we've been talking for the past 2 years, which has been crazy to say the least. It's not slowing down. I mean, rates are going up a little, you know, which we were anticipating. You know, we was hoping that it lasted a little longer.
Well, inflation's gone crazy, which means everything's going up, including interest rates and everything else.
What's happening over there in Russia, what's happening in the market, the oil, the energy, you name it, it's all a chain reaction. You know what I mean? The feds are trying to do everything in their power to control things, but they only can do so much.
Sure.
So
absolutely, it's the world we live in.
Exactly. Like we always say, we always adjust and move on.
Exactly. You just kind of plan accordingly and ride the wave as best you can. That's kind of how it works. So, but for folks who don't know, Elliot, since pretty much since about the first of the year, I'm guessing, so around that time, you've called Loan Depot home now, which ultimately was a decision for you and your family to best for you guys to say, hey, this is. The opportunities for me and my family are better here, and at the end of the day, you look at it and say, what I can do for my customers is also a little bit better here too. So it's a win-win for everybody.
It really is. I'm an animal that don't like change. I'm very.
Once you got it set, you're like,
I don't want to change.
Don't
anything.
mess with it.
Well, I started looking at a lot of different things that were taking place, and and the opportunity came along to be able to do better for my customers and to our partners. Okay. So in that way, real estate agents will be even happier.
Sure.
So that's even something great, because the whole idea is a team effort. Okay. I cannot do anything without my borrower.
Sure.
And I cannot do nothing without the real estate agent helping my borrower.
At the end of the day, you don't have a big vault full of money that you can just pass out any way you want to. You're handing out Loan Depot's money. They kind of have rules on how they want the handed out.
You know what? It sounds like Elliot has a bunch of money, but it's not Elliot's money. It never has been. No, you know what? It was an awesome opportunity that I just had to take.
Sure.
And for me and my family, and for the community, and I wanted to take it to the next level. And I thought about it for a long time, what I was going to do, and I was loving where I was. I was doing great, okay? But to be able to take it to the next level and be able to help even more people, I have to do a change.
Sure.
Okay? And the opportunity came along. They reached out to me before a long time ago. Like I said, I don't like change.
It wasn't the right opportunity at that moment.
The right timing,
Life changed and things happen, absolutely.
And I'm just thrilled because I can do way more than what I was doing before. And now, bringing a powerhouse to the town.
Sure.
That's something else too. Right now, Loan Depot is the largest lender in town, which is really cool because I can actually say that without blinking. Okay, and I can do even more for my borrowers. If you guys go and check me up online on Facebook, you can see some of the stuff that I already posted. Okay, we can go lower in the interest, in the credit scores to be able to help some people that. All the lenders may have said no to them.
Sure.
Which is another big thing to me, because like you and I always talk,
Yeah.
I do have a side for the first-time buyers.
If I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I remember seeing like an advertisement for Loan Depot a couple years ago, and it was, I think, some of the original owners, creators of Loan Depot, and it was, and if I remember right, and if there's anything I'm saying wrong here, please correct me, but if I remember right, it really started with this group of people that were basically, and granted, these were people with little money. They weren't, of course, people with some money, but they were basically a bunch of people said, you know what, we're tired of playing the rules of your Merrill Lynch's and Fannie Mae's and Bernie Mac's and all these old school staple names in the loaning industry.
Correct.
And they said, you know what, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it this way. That's something more for the people, not for the stodgy corporate boardroom guy.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the way Loan Depot started, if I'm remembering it right.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and now they've grown it into this one of the largest companies in the U.S. today.
Exactly. I mean, we literally right now in the United States we are number 2, non-bank lender. That's huge. Okay, and that was one of the reasons why I waited for a while to figure out where I was going to go if I decided to ever do anything. Because if I'm going to do something, it needs to be an opportunity for me and my family and my partners and customers.
Yeah.
Because if the customers are not getting the benefit of it, there's no need for change.
Sure.
Okay. But if I can do more and take care of my, the people around me, everybody's successful, everybody's happy. It's a no-brainer.
Sure.
And they're huge. They're 12 years old. The company. They're the second largest, in the United States. I mean, that's huge. Number 5 in retail. Okay. And that's something else that, I was thinking if I ever do something, I wanted to bring something into town that's going to help my people. Okay. It can't be just about money all the time, like a lot of people always think. because to be honest and be a little transparent, I got other places that even offer me more money.
Sure.
Okay. And I was thinking, so if I take more money, what is that gonna? It trickles down to the borrowers, who's gonna pay the price later.
Sure.
Okay. So the more money you make, what are you sacrificing? All right. So it wasn't about money. It was about taking it to the next level to be able to take care of the customers. And that in my side, that's a big thing to me. Because not many people that know me, personally, if you know me personally, it's not about money for me. It's about taking care of the consumer.
Sure.
And if I can do that, and take it to the next level, it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
And it's huge,
And just pulling back curtain here, like my mortgage and everything's
I'm aware of that.
under Loan Depot. And of course there wasn't a local agent when we went through and we talked and I will say this, even without a local agent, they were great to work with and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the added bonus of having you in town and someone can actually talk to someone local right here, boom, boom, handle the business. If you don't have the ability to go through the gauntlets and things like that, that's where Elliot's here local and he can do all that kind of stuff.
Makes a big difference.
It does. So I'm thinking like I dealt with Loan Depot nationally without a local person in there and it was good. A good experience. It's going to be 10 times better now with Elliot sitting there saying, you know what, I've got an advocate for you here in the same room, and that does make a huge difference.
And I'm building a team, so it's not just going to be me. I'm building a team, and in the near future, I'm in the process of getting a location here in town as well.
Sure.
And that way people can come and knock the door and they'll let me leave the office,
Yeah, you're getting your office and we'll have a permanent address here for you and everything.
Yeah, totally,
Now it's just to get you by phone and he'll come to you or whatever.
Yeah, nothing have changed. I'm still taking care of people the same as I always did, and just even better.
Absolutely.
So that's the part that is so excited because I can accomplish a lot more for the folks in town.
Sure. Now, obviously with me, I dealt with Loan Depot a lot, and a lot for home mortgages, things like that. But I'm guessing they do equal for your commercial, all that. It's so if you're looking for loans for not just residential but commercial, all that, Loan Depot does that stuff too?
The commercial side, they do something else.
Okay.
It wouldn't be me, but I can actually refer somebody.
So it's something, but it's not part of your department. But if folks have those needs, you can combine all that.
I can send them the right place.
So if you're using Loan Depot for your home stuff, you can use them for your commercial too. It's just what to put you in touch with a different representative.
Exactly, and we're in the technology side of the house. I mean, we way ahead of everybody else when it comes to technology. Okay, and that's another thing that I was thinking. Like if I was going to do something, if I was going to go somewhere that pays me even more money, what do they have?
Especially in the world of COVID now, where we were that industry was going electronic anyway. COVID kind of forced the matter to happen maybe a little faster than some companies wanted it to. But Loan Depot was on the cutting edge. That was part of their game plan from day one of starting the company, was making ease of access, making it to where it isn't the tradition, like combining the best of tradition and true with technology and ease of access, and saying, you know what, we do have a way where we can do this without having you set a formal date to come in and sign and do all this. Now we can do electronic signings. We can get a verbal authorization over a phone or a electronic email signature. Things that now you physically don't have to drive to a place just to sign something.
No, it's so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and
it has changed the whole entire world the planet works. When it comes to all this,
especially in the home loan process, which, let's face it, it can be a lengthy process sometimes.
It can be,
especially if they're doing their due diligence research on things, and it's not uncommon for a back and forth with that, where you call and say, hey, they have a question about this here. Can you write a letter for me or give me some more information about this? And then that's just part of the normal process of a loan process.
Exactly.
There's always one or two things, and you're like, oh, that was from this. Okay, cool, we get it. Let's just make a little quick note explaining that, and then then it's not a problem. We can move on. But they just anything that looks out of the norm, they doesn't necessarily disqualify you. They just want to know what that's all about sometimes. So and so that's where that process can happen a lot faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I mean, in New Mexico, our average was 30 to 35 days. Okay, closing, getting it to close. And now it's changing. I mean, I'm even doing quicker than that. Okay, which is pretty awesome. Because a lot of people, got this mentality about, it needs to happen super fast.
Sure. Well, you get excited. And then they get a new home, and they can't wait to get in their new home, and I get it. Yeah.
But I've been doing some stuff, record, breaking times lately. So it's, even though I'm dealing with a lot of stuff with appraisers and stuff like that, because they're so booked and everything, so they're booking things out so far out. But just have to kind of adjust and try to get the right person to do it for us and make things happen, for the customer a little quicker.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, then we actually deliver to the borrowers, and the partners in general will be happier. If anything takes longer, it's more like about, a title or appraisal or some kind of situation that is a little out of our control, because that's normal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That will happen to any company. I don't care which company it is. But if you want a company that's going to take care of you, we are trying to be, and feels like we are the lender of choice at this moment, okay? And that's one of our lines that we do. We are the lender of choice, the American lender, if you may. If you pay attention to some of the commercials online, that's what they talk about, because that's what we want to be, and that's what we are, ending being every day now.
Sure.
And that's why bringing something new into town and me being part of it, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole idea, being the lender of choice for everybody.
Absolutely.
And if we can deliver that for people, okay, it's a huge thing. Another thing here at Loan Depot, home means everything to us, which is really cool, because if we're gonna preach and talk about, hey, we're gonna do this, we have to put our action where our word of our mouth is, okay, and that's kind of what I've done all these years, because I try to deliver this to our borrowers and make sure that it happens for them, make that dream happen for them.
Sure.
And if I can do that here, and that was the whole idea of it, take it to the next level, it's a win-win for everybody. And like I said, at Loan Depot, home means everything. And
Absolutely.
To me, that's a perfect, slogan for me, because that's, to me, home means everything to me as well.
And I can tell you this just from my own personal experience. If you're needing help with the programs, different things like for instance, I'm as a veteran, I got my VA benefits and all that. Loan Depot did all of that stuff. So, and I'm telling you right now, my VA loan, my mortgage, with the help of the VA and through Loan Depot, I paid zero money down, no money. I put, normally you got to put 10% down or whatever
it may be.
Not with the VA status. I did not have to put one dime down on it.
And guess what? Let me tell you something that Loan Depot is big for. Okay, and let's be honest, I'm still learning Loan Depot's way. Okay, but I did my research before I came over, and everything that I saw and everything that I heard, it sounded good, and everything that I'm doing is right together with the same part of what I heard and what I saw.
Nice.
And that's huge, because usually sometimes you go to places like, oh crap, I should have not done any changes. That is not the case here, and that's the part that I'm so excited, because I'm just beginning, and learning their ways and how they do it there.
Sure.
The facts still stand, rules and programs are still the same.
Sure.
No matter where you go in some levels.
Sure, but protocols and things may change a little bit.
But now that you mentioned VA, Loan Depot is huge on the VA side of the house. And they're actually doing the 203K for, VA loans, which a lot of lenders don't do, because everybody's afraid of those. Okay, and guess what? For our VA people that are listening out there that, have a home that maybe a little old, that needs some fixing or whatever, guess what? We can do remodeling loans for VA loans as well.
Oh, cool.
Which is a big thing that, that a lot of people is not aware of, that it can be done. And guess what? At Loan Depot, we do that.
Yeah, take advantage of that.
Take advantage, so.
Especially if you're not going to use your VA loan again, 'cause
Exactly.
You get, I think, twice or something? I don't remember.
No, you know what? You could use it as many times as you want, as long as you, qualify for it. For example, let's do some teaching for VA people out there that are listening. So if you own a VA loan on a home, right now, let's talk FHA for just a second. Before, if you had an FHA loan on a home and you wanted to upgrade your house to, buy a new home and maybe rent this house out or whatever, back in the day, if you had like 25% of equity on the home, FHA would allow you to.
Okay.
Now you cannot. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to clear that FHA loan to be able to do another.
So you got to pay in full. You can't have two outstanding loans at the same time.
Or if you were moving to another state, you could.
Okay.
So there's circumstances for everything. That's the part I love about lending, because there's so many little boxes for all that stuff. But the reason I brought that into the fold, since you're talking about this, is because on V8, okay, you could own a home right now, and in the same town, if you want to upgrade to another home, if you qualify for it, and when your benefits are given to you, allow you to go to buy another home, you could and rent the other house out.
Okay.
You cannot do that on FHA right now.
Gotcha.
Okay? That was taken away.
Okay.
So if a person wants to do that, they can do that. And that's awesome. That's huge. And as far as using the VA, depending on what is the situation, you could use it over and over. Obviously, the fees get higher.
Sure.
And I know a lot of people like, what are you talking about? VA loans are not 100% free. You still have to pay closing costs. And a lot of people forget that, and they're always like, oh my God, why am I paying for this? Well, the point is still staying. If you do the right negotiation, you may not pay nothing.
Sure.
Especially if you're buying a house.
Yeah.
All right. So that's true. And I've done it many times. But the cool part about it with a VA is that if you already pay your loan, you could and you still live in the house, but you just paid it.
Sure.
You could buy another one. Or if you decided to rent this one out and you want to upgrade, you also explain why you want to get another home. Okay. And if your benefits cover you and the numbers are working, you can maybe buy another home. Okay. Which is really cool. So it doesn't stop. And then to top it off, if you own a home and you've been there for a long time, and like you said, you're not planning to move, you're not planning to use your VA for another reason, anytime soon or whatever, but your home needs some remodeling.
Sure. Take advantage of that.
Take advantage of it,
Sure.
And just give us a call and we'll give you all the details on that.
Yeah.
But the cool part about it is that they can do that.
Yeah. And in actuality, obviously, depending on the upgrade you're doing, you're adding value to the property. So, in essence, you're making your home more valuable. So you get this loan out, but it in essence is still an investment. It's not necessarily like a loan for a car where there isn't no chance to recoup your cost here.
Exactly.
Here you can actually recoup it and then some if the upgrades and things are depending on what they are, obviously. But yeah,
a lot of people had give me real good feedbacks that I went ahead and brought in bringing somebody new and started something new in town, which is very exciting. I'm very happy about that.
Sure.
That outcome. If you have asked me what was the main reason for the change, well, you know what? I wanted to be able to do more than what other lenders can, and to begin right away, when I did the switch, it was a few deals that some other people cannot do. And I didn't understood that because I know the rules. I know, I mean, if I'm going to be licensed, I better know some stuff. I don't know everything. I'm not an encyclopedia or anything like that, but I want to be the best lender in town.
Sure.
And that's what I always have said.
You have the knowledge, and what you don't know, you have at your fingertips.
Oh, I have an awesome team. OMG. I mean, I'm talking about that. What's the word I'm saying? In thinking in my mind. The sky's the limit.
Gotcha. Got your dream team here.
If the numbers work and we could meet the guidelines, why should anything stop us? Okay.
Right.
Let's be realistic. And that's one of the things. So I do the switch from deals that we couldn't do or some other people cannot do, and I was able to do them without no effort. Totally effortless. It's like, all right, so what they promised me is there, and now I can deliver more. So it was a no-brainer, choice.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited of what I can do for my community and that I can take it to the next level and help everybody a lot better. Okay. And if people follow my lead, follow my instructions, you know what? They always say if it doesn't fit on the box, then you kind of SOL. The reality is that's not true. You need to maybe empty that box out and put everything back in place,
Sure.
Fold it in, better.
Sure.
And then maybe everything fit better.
Got to reorganize the box.
Exactly. And guess what? That's just the way I always thought.
Sure.
And that's probably why I have been able to do even more, no matter where I was.
Yeah.
So.
Not to mention, he can get as much stuff in the car on vacations as anybody out there. So.
and that's the fact, and if we can do that, why not?
Sure.
And let's be realistic, like you and I always said. People always need a place to live.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to be renting or living with somebody, why not own it? Okay.
Invest in yourself, because that's at the end of the day when you're buying a house, that's what you're doing. Is you're investing in yourself and your family, and that's.
And don't be afraid of the interest rate going up. Let me tell you something. Back 15 years ago, actually farther than that. Okay. Back in 2005, when everything went crazy, 2008 and 2007. for the mortgage market went all haywire, and it's like, oh my God, everything is crazy. Interest rates were higher. I bought a house and it was 9.5 interest rate. Okay, and like you said that to somebody right now, they'd probably get a heart attack.
They'd be like, oh my gosh, that's a highway robbery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It took me twice to refinance to bring it down to 5.9, and we talked about this before in the show.
Yeah.
The facts still stand. We're not going to push you in a bad place. We're not going to give you a loan that you're going to lose your house in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is readjust a few little things. So nothing have changed. Just the interest rates will just go in a little higher. That's all.
The only time you got to be worried about those interest rates is if you're not smart enough to get a fixed rate loan and you have an adjustable rate loan, then you got something to worry about because those adjustable rates, if it goes to 10%, guess what? You're paying 10%. If it drops down to 2%, then it's a win for you. But it usually doesn't end up that way. I'm just saying.
No, people always think like, oh my God, I cannot buy it. You know how many people call me and like, oh, they try me here and they say I couldn't. I got a call yesterday, a referral for a refi. All right. He told me, oh, my bank is giving me hell because I switched business and I went on my own 2 years ago. It's like, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. First of all, it's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And I asked him the scenario. It took me 5 minutes just to talk to the guy, and we can do a loan for him.
Sure.
All he wants to do is refinance.
Okay.
Change a few numbers around.
Sure.
So there's a little more cash.
He's already in the system. It's just a matter of,
And his bank is telling him no. It's like, wait a minute, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, they don't look like they're wanting customers, it sounds like.
Well, a lot of lenders out there are a little scared.
Sure.
There's a lot of, risk, that they're taking.
They're doing their risk assessments, and unfortunately,
and they have to hold back.
You talk about boxes checking early. If you don't check the boxes, then they don't want to do with you.
It took me 5 minutes to figure out, there's no reason why you shouldn't have been able. And guess what? I used to be a banker, okay? I should go and get licensed and be a financial advisor and everything too. Just what the heck, But the thing is this. Sometimes all you have to do is move a little few things around to make it better for yourself. And what better to talk to somebody that have a little more experience in those things. The whole idea,
absolutely.
And if you're talking to somebody and they're telling you no, get a second opinion, okay? I'm here for everybody. You say the word. I always have said, and this is a slogan for myself, okay? Out of every conversation that I do, I don't have to make $1, okay? But I plan, and see it anywhere I go. So the fact of the story is that you reap what you sow.
Sure.
Okay. And that's even in the Bible, guys. Okay. So if it's in the big book, it must mean something.
It's true to life.
It's true to life.
Yeah.
And I deal with that every single day when I get phone calls and, hey, Elliot, that somebody told me call you this and that, Yeah, sometimes they're asking me to do some miracles and stuff like that, and I have to go and open the book of Harry Potter and get a magical wand out.
Get your wand.
But the point still stands. Sometimes all you have to do is move a few things around, okay, and think about the bigger picture, okay, and if you're not getting the answers that you're getting, I'm not saying go all over the place and put your credit everywhere. No, I'm not saying that. But go to the next person and ask them the scenario that somebody else say no. Okay.
At the end of the day, you're the customer. You're
Exactly.
the one that's getting asking for a service here, and you have an option on who provides that service. And if you're not getting the answers you like from that person, then guess what? Just like any other business or thing, you'd go to a different place to find the answers you want, and it's no different here.
And the fact, in the end of the day, is that there's always a way.
Yeah.
I'm a Trekkie, dude. I mean, I'm Captain Kirk. I don't believe in no-win situations.
Yeah.
There's always a way, okay?
You cheated on the Kobayashi, Maru, whatever that.
Kobayashi maneuver, No, but the fact still stand. We have a good company that is now in town, okay? And today, this month is my birthday. I wanted to do it in January, but there's so many different things that I was doing and learning so many things about the company to feel a lot more comfortable to what I'm going to say. Okay?
Gotcha.
And I've never been a poster boy for any company. I don't care which company it is, but I always promote the company that I work for,
Sure.
and I believe in the companies that I work for.
Sure.
I don't take it lightly, to where I'm gonna go and work.
Sure.
Okay.
You're a representative of them as much as they're representing you out there.
Exactly.
And you want to make sure that's a right fit.
But in the end of the day, I work for the borrower. Okay. I'm legally bound to be working for you. And I say this to my customers all the time. You're the boss. I work for you, not you work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now you help me. You give me everything that I need. I'll take it to the end. I use the analogy about football all the time. You the team owner.
Yeah.
And there's coach, there's a coach and this and that. I'm your quarterback. You give me what I need. Give me back my blockers. You give me my runners, receivers. You name it. Give me that kicker, that can put that ball in there, okay?
Yeah.
And guess what? I go down there and score the point for you and make it happen for you. That's what I do.
Sure.
Okay. I even use the taxi driver, analogy. I start talking about, okay, you need to go to the airport. I can take you downtown to the park, okay, or to the servers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna get you to the airport.
Sure.
So which way would you like me to take you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's kind of what I do every day.
You the customer are technically in the driver's seat. He's just executing.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw the time, so we probably should wrap this up. So if you're listening and you're thinking, and by the way, if you're a first-time home buyer and you're kind of confused and like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff here I don't know, Elliot loves to sit down and explain that to you and educate you and help you through that process. So, when you make this if it's your first-time purchase, making it a good experience, so your next one will be even better with him. That's how he looks at it. So please reach out if you've got questions. If you're whether you're looking to refinance what you got now, or get your first-time loan, or hey, it's time to buy a new home. Let's talk to Elliot here. Reach out to Elliot. Like I said, the office coming soon. He's got a lead on a few here, but right now he's mobile. So you could reach out to Elliot.
I'm COVID style.
There you go. He's loose and fast. So, you can reach out on his cell, which is probably the best rate right now, 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. He does have an office number, 505-445-2070. You'll probably have to leave a message, and they'll connect you to.
You'll route it up to me anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably the best way right now. You can always email him, erodriguez@loandepot.com too.
Correct.
And that's all one word, loandepot.com. So
correct.
Good deal.
And it's a great company. Like I said, number one in technology. We the ones that invented the automatic approval system. Okay, which is a huge thing that has been used for the past 7 years plus. You know what I mean? So their innovations with technology is huge.
Yeah.
And their fast track on closings is awesome.
We've been with them for like 4 years now. We've been very happy with them.
And we just launched the Mellow Home app for customers. So you could see your mortgage account.
Yeah.
You can make payments and everything. So you don't need to get on the phone and call anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually have an app that you can actually see your statements. Pay your bills and all kinds of stuff, like a lot easier.
It's all self-driven.
Exactly, and that's the whole idea, to make it easier for you guys.
And then, of course, if you hit a spot where you want to talk to someone or need help,
we're still there for you.
Then Elliot's a phone call away. So, very good. Well, thank you as always. Congratulations on the new home.
Thank you.
We look forward to talking each month here, and we'll talk more success stories and more new opportunities. And as the world changes and interest rates and lives change, we'll adapt and keep people up to date on how to deal with it. So
exactly.
Very good. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time, okay?
Alrighty.
Don't work too hard.
Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A teenager has been captured and arrested for last weekend's murder of his 17-year-old roommate in Roswell. A statement from RPD says Darian Penn is charged with first-degree murder for the death of Mason Mays. Authorities responded to an apartment in the 1600 block of North Sycamore and found Mays on a balcony. He'd been shot in the head. Police found Penn hiding in a bedroom closet of the apartment, and the rifle believed to have been used in the crime was also found there. The RPD statement says police believe Penn may have been under the influence of a drug or other substance and was possibly delusional at the time of the shooting. And a Carlsbad man learned he'll spend the next 35 years behind bars for kidnapping and raping a convenience store clerk last month. Kenneth Miller pleaded guilty to all the charges this week during his arraignment hearing. Police said Miller began a crime spree along Pierce Street on February 13th, ending with him barricading himself inside a convenience store after he raped the clerk there. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
If your business, especially a small business, purchased advertising on Facebook, you may be owed a refund. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. The charge against Meta, Facebook's new name, is fraud. A lawsuit claims the company executives knew Facebook and Instagram's audience, those who would see the ads, was highly inflated and skewed by fake and duplicate accounts. This week, a federal judge ruled against Meta and allowed all businesses, including some 2 million small companies, to join the class action lawsuit. If your company purchased advertising on Facebook or Instagram anytime since April 15th, 2014, you can be part of what promises to be a blockbuster lawsuit. And it's not Facebook's first time with this sort of thing. In 2019, the company paid former advertisers $40 million for inflating the number of users watching video ads. Learn more at commando.com.
During this great reshuffle, a record number of employees are switching jobs. Now's your chance to attract them. LinkedIn Jobs is here to help you connect with the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Then add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. This way, you'll spread the word that you're hiring. Your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience. You can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. I'll be back inside your radios tomorrow morning. Let's dive into a check of the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Wow, what a way to cap off a doubleheader sweep. That's what the Goddard Rockets and their fans were saying yesterday. Goddard defeated Clovis in a twin bill. First game, no problem, 11-1. Second game, a little bit of a problem. Goddard was trailing 5-1 entering the sixth inning, but the Rockets got 2 in the bottom of the sixth and then 3 runs in the bottom of the seventh. Whew, they win the game 6-5. Goddard's now 6-8 on the season. Also yesterday in softball action, Roswell wallops Portales by a score of 16-0. The Coyotes softball team now 5-3. Today baseball, Gateway Christian at the Santa Rosa tournament. They're playing against Mora at 10 a.m. start. And you've also got softball action. Hey, it's Goddard against Clovis again. This time it'll be in Clovis. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. economy ended 2021 by expanding at a healthy 6.9% annual pace from October through December, the government reported Wednesday. It's a slight downgrade from its previous estimates. For all of 2021, the nation's gross domestic product, its total output of goods and services, jumped by 5.7%, the fastest calendar year growth since a 7.2% surge in 1984 in the aftermath of a brutal recession. The Los Angeles City Council voted Wednesday to end its mandate for many indoor businesses and operators of large outdoor events to verify that customers have been vaccinated against COVID-19, joining a wave of big U.S. cities that have relaxed the restriction. The measure received enough votes to pass as an urgent measure so it can take effect quickly after it receives the mayor's signature and is published by the city clerk. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
all you cats and kitties out there in Radio Land, listen up, because if you're thinking a cruise down Main Street in Artesia sounds like the perfect way to spend a Saturday, well, have I got news for you, because we ain't fooling around. It's the 23rd Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise, coming up Friday and Saturday, April 1st and 2nd in downtown Artesia. Kicking things off on Friday, April 1st with a parade and cruise down Main Street at 6 p.m. Then come out for a stroll through Heritage Plaza Saturday starting at 9 to see amazing cars from all decades lined up for you to view. Classic cars to antique trucks and even some tractors. There'll be something for everybody. Best of all, spectators are free. For more information or to sign up, call the Artesia Chamber of Commerce at 575-746-2744. That's 575-746-2744, or go online to artesiachamber.com. Don't miss the 23rd Annual Main Event Car Show and Cruise, Friday and Saturday, April 1st and 2nd in downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 4 minutes away from 8 o'clock. And by the way, no, it is not more fun than falling asleep on someone else's side. You ever done that? It's awesome. You might have just heard us talking about the car show and cruise happening tomorrow night for the cruise, and the car show happening on Saturday in Artesia, the cruise happening down Main Street. Well, we're doing something special over on our sister station, AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. If you're going to be in the Artesia area for the Ace Car Show and Cruise, well, tune in from 6 to 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, because I, myself, yours truly, Sean Small, is going to be heading over to AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP, and we're going to be hosting a 2-hour cruise soundtrack. That's right. We're calling it the Sock Hop with Sean Smalls, and we're giving you the chance to be the DJ in your own vehicle. If you're in the cruise, or if you're just out spectating and you want to help, build the soundtrack, we're going to open up the Hop line. That's right, the Hop line. 575-291-7468. That's 575-291-7468. You can send in requests, dedications, shout-outs, whatever, and we'll get them worked in to the Sock Hop with yours truly, Sean Smalls, happening tomorrow, 6 to 8 p.m. over on our sister station, AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. So used to saying our sister station, Fiera 106.1, that had to stop and think about that one for a second. Hey, also coming up this Saturday, Grace Community Church right here in Roswell and Celebrate Recovery. They present a night of hope and inspiration with Hosanna Wong. That's going to be happening at 4 p.m. actually this Saturday, April 2nd. It is an absolutely free event. Hosanna Wong has an amazing story of kind of hitting the bottom of the barrel and coming all the way up from where she was to where she is now. Her testimony is absolutely phenomenal, and she's going to be giving that testimony and also performing 4 o'clock p.m. on this Saturday at Grace Community Church at 935 West Mescalero Road. This is a free event, and by the way, childcare for the event is available on a limited basis for kids from birth through 5th grade. If you want to check the availability or sign up, you need to contact Valerie Buckingham at 623-5438. That's 623-5438, extension 108, if you want to get childcare for an evening of hope and inspiration with Hosanna Wong. That's happening this Saturday, 4 p.m. at Grace Community Church, 935 West Mescalero Road. Come on out for the free event and get some inspiration. Hey, stay tuned, because next hour, right around 8:15 or so, we'll be sitting down chit-chatting with Miss Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Desi Aguilar. We'll be chatting up the teen leadership event that's going to be happening very soon, and also just kind of getting you inspired on how to be a leader. It starts at an early age. You gotta start them young. So we'll talk that up coming up next hour, and of course all the other hourly features as well. Stick around right here, and don't forget all of our content also available over on our Facebook page. Just head to Facebook and search for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Back after Town Hall News on the other side of this. Stick around.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's
News
Mike
this
Winters.
hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A high-ranking British intelligence official suggested Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine was a big-time strategic blunder. The White House pointing to U.S. intelligence that shows that Putin is being misled by members of his inner circle.
President Biden is refusing to comment on the intelligence, but his spokesperson, Kate Bedingfield, said Putin's advisors are too afraid to tell him the truth about his military's performance in Ukraine.
It is increasingly clear that Putin's war has been a strategic blunder that has left Russia weaker over the long term and increasingly isolated on the world stage.
Meanwhile, Mr. Biden is pledging another $500 million in assistance to Ukraine's government.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The British Defense Ministry reports that Russian forces continue to hammer away at the Ukrainian city of Chernihiv.
The aggression continues despite Russia's assurance that it would de-escalate operations in Chernihiv and near Kiev. Britain's Ministry of Defense reported that Russia still held positions to the east and west of Kiev, despite the withdrawal of a limited number of units. It believes that heavy fighting will likely take place in the suburbs of the capital in coming days.
That's correspondent Karen Chamas. Wicked weather continues to pummel parts of the South. The sheriff in Washington County, Florida, says 2 people have been killed, 2 others injured by a suspected tornado that hit Chipley in the western Florida panhandle. OPEC and its allies, Russia among them, have decided against any significant increase. The output of crude oil not expected to do much to lower gas prices. Up by 14,000. The number of Americans filing for jobless benefits rose to 202,000 last week. On Wall Street this hour, stocks are in the red. The Dow is down about 112 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index trading 75 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3377 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3377. Enjoy!
The UN hopes to collect $4.5 billion to help ease a humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan has suffered 4 decades of conflict and, more recently, successive drought. 60% of its people are going hungry. Sanctions have stopped the salaries of tens of thousands. Afghan families are selling their belongings to put food on the table. Child labour and child marriage are increasing. The UN hopes donor countries will be generous, but some donors may be reluctant to fund a country run by the Taliban. At the same time, the crisis in Ukraine may be diverting donors' attention and their cash.
That's a BBC's Imogen Folks. China and the Solomon Islands signing a draft version of a security pact could see Chinese police and other forces take up duties in the Pacific Island nation. Townhall.com. Apparently, a large-scale cyber attack was among the opening salvos of the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
A malicious software update anchored a cyber attack that crippled tens of thousands of modems across Europe and caused a major loss of communications in Ukraine in the early hours of Russia's invasion in February. U.S.-based satellite owner Viasat says the attack on the KSAT satellite network began in the early hours of February 24th with a distributed denial-of-service onslaught that knocked a large number of modems offline. The satellite network is used by Ukraine's government and military. Viasat did not say who it believes was responsible for the attack, but Ukrainian officials blame Russian hackers. I'm Mike Gracia.
Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves has signed a bill to authorize the state's largest teacher pay raise in a generation. Starting July 1st, teachers to get an average increase of about $5,100. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of a Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday morning to you. Hopefully the penultimate day of your work and or school week finds you well, rested, happy, satisfied, content.
Good morning.
Adjectives, other stuff. Hopefully you're waking up on the bright side on this Thursday morning. Looking pretty nice outside, actually, all things considered, compared to yesterday. It's shaping up to be quite a nice day around Roswell way. We'll dive into the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Also coming up later on this hour, we'll be sitting down chatting with Miss Amy McVeigh-Teas and Desi Aguilar, chatting up the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association Teen Leadership event that went down. And we'll chat about how that went, how everything went down, coming up here in just a few minutes. What's happening over here?
It looks like the new Shepard.
Is this the new SpaceX or whatever?
I guess. And it's, right before we started talking.
Right.
And I think this is a cool recent thing with rockets. They can actually have them land in the same spot that they...
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Or whatever spot that they want to land it in. And I think it's cool that the booster just comes out, and I was watching that as I was coming in, and it's just pretty.
It's interesting to see something on Fox News without a chyron, without like a bottom third to tell you what's going on.
Well, they're filming it in case something happens. That way they can say,
yeah, so that
something happened.
They were there. Exactly. Speaking of something happened, I gotta tell you, one of the things that the sheer joys of not having children that you and Mike get to experience, people like you and Mike get to experience, I truly miss that. Yeah. I have children who are actively trying to murder me.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know the motive.
What, are they just 2 a.m? Just bring a spork?
Let me explain what happened. So I get in my shower this morning to get ready for the day. And
oh boy.
Well, let me back up. Last night was shower night for the kids. We they each take their showers, whatever. So while Hunter was in the shower playing a little bit, getting rinsed off as I was getting his clothes ready to get him out, he was in there for a couple minutes, and I thought nothing of it, no big deal. Got him out, got him dried off, everything, teeth brushed, in bed, all that fun stuff. Okay? Went about my evening, went to sleep, woke up this morning, set my glasses down on the sink like I usually do. I stepped into my shower as it was turned on, and I almost immediately slipped and fell as hard as I could onto my shower chair. Because, unbeknownst to me, my son decided to empty an entire bottle of shampoo onto the floor of my shower. So not only did I almost die this morning, not only am I still in hip pain because of it, not only is there a gigantic mess that I now have to deal with.
I was going to say, I thought you'd think you'd be able to see it before you stepped in, but was it
that's
clear?
That's the beauty of it. The mornings I shower in the pitch darkness.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's why. Because the kid sleeps in the
so as
same
soon
room.
As your foot landed, you felt the goo, and then you just woohoo.
Yep, it was fun. It was fun. So, but not only all that, I'm also
glad you're okay.
Out a bottle of shampoo.
Yeah.
That's almost more significant than the hip pain. I have to budget now for a new bottle of shampoo, and that's.
I'd keep it in a cabinet then.
Well,
and then just bring it out when you got to use it.
Thanks, Captain Hindsight.
I mean, from now on.
Dude, my kid's mom is exactly like that. She's always done that, and they used to infuriate me.
No. Like, it's not, like, you can't do anything about what happened, but, from this point on, they can't have access to that, otherwise they're going to just drain it.
Let me just tell you from the perspective of someone that makes a mistake. The last thing that they want to hear is what they should have done. Okay? And I'm telling you this from the perspective of someone who heard it for most of my life. I understand.
It's not a should have. It's a should.
Yeah.
From now on.
Thanks for clarifying. It doesn't make it better.
No.
Still, though, yeah, I'm okay. We made it out semi-alive. But yeah, thanks, Hunter. You're out there trying to murder me. It was not a fun way to start one's morning. Not gonna lie.
It'd be.
Yeah. But thank God the chair was there, because it could have been a lot worse.
It's interesting you have a chair.
So.
And that's cool.
Let me explain why.
It probably makes things more comfortable.
Well, when we moved in, I was still married. So the missus wanted a place to, when she's, shaving her legs, whatever, sit down. So we put, not a shower chair, we put a literal chair in our shower. It's like a kitchen chair,
That's cool.
Chair in our shower. After, she left after things, moved on. It's just a nice place to sit, if you're enjoying a shower, you kind of want to kick back a little bit.
You're like the thinker.
Yeah, I just never took it out. It was like, I don't really use it that often. I use it more as a shelf than anything else. But it's just nice to have. So yeah, I have a shower chair. But thank God it was there, because it saved my life today. It really came through in it.
Because that would be interesting. If something happened to you, who would I talk to about getting this thing going?
You would be doing it. It'd be Tanner in the morning.
But it'd be
Tanner in the morning, and I would tell you how to do the phone overlay so you could call me. And
well, not if you're half dead.
If I could do I would figure it out. Do the show in traction via phone from whatever hospital room I'm in.
I have to bring you the equipment. Beep. No, I'd probably just do it.
Beep. Just in the background. I'm just doing medical sounds now, like what a hospital room would basically sound like while you're trying to do a show. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to stop chewing up the clock here. Let's dive into a check of the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees round Roswell Way. Humidity at 76%. Winds out of the southwest at around 6 miles an hour. You didn't have to turn the camera back on. The barometer about 29.99 inches with a dew point of 32 degrees. Looking at a high of 69 degrees today with mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest later in the afternoon. Tonight dropping down to 43 for the overnight low, getting partly cloudy skies this evening, but not nearly as cold as this last evening. Still not as warm as the one before that, so somewhere in the creamy middle. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles an hour for tonight as well. For tomorrow, sunny skies, and the weekend warm-up begins once again. High around 79 degrees, winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour, becoming northwest later in the afternoon. For your Friday night, mostly clear, dropping down to around 39 degrees. Winds out of the north 5 to 15 miles an hour. And that's going to be wrapping up your Friday night. For Saturday, heading into the weekend and heading into the 80s. Sunny skies, a high of around 83 degrees. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south 10 to 15 later in the afternoon. And for Saturday night, mostly clear, dropping down to 47 degrees. Sunday, sunny skies, a high of 89 degrees. Donkey lipping 90 once again, folks. We're right on the cusp of practically summertime weather. We're just skipping over spring, or at least all the good parts of it. But we went ahead and knocked out all the springtime weather this week. We got the wind, we got the rain, we got the cold, and we're going to get the heat. Just all 4 seasons all in 1 week. 15 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Going to pause, pay a couple of these here bills, and after these, we're sitting down chit-chatting with Miss Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Desi Aguilar, Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, Big Nate here. Come see me this weekend at the Yucca Blossom Spring into Action Trade Show. I'll be at the Eddy County Fairgrounds, 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday and 11 to 2 on Sunday. Come check out the 100 vendors spread across 3 buildings. The Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo, why, even the Easter Bunny will be there. So come see me, Big Nate, at the Yucca Blossom Spring into Action Show this weekend in Artesia on 92.9 The Brand.
There's nothing like a good night's sleep. But if your old, worn-out mattress is keeping you up at night, then hurry to Glenn's Furniture and change your life. Glenn's carries Serta, the finest mattress in the world. Whether you prefer a traditional inner spring, a modern memory foam, or a hybrid that combines the best of both, Glenn's has the right size and right firmness in stock, specially priced and ready for free delivery. So don't lay awake another night. Head for Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, making sweet dreams since 1953.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
One of the true tragedies of life. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock on this here Thursday morning. Sean Smalls, Inside Your Radios, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. He'll be back Inside Your Radios tomorrow, and then out again on Monday while he's being explored. We're waiting for Ms. Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Desi Aguilar from Leadership Roswell's Alumni Association to chit-chat about the Teen Leadership event. We'll be doing that here in just a few minutes. They should be right around the corner. But in the meantime, curious, do you know someone who is an outstanding community leader right here in Roswell? Well, if you do, you need to nominate him for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's 25th Annual Community Leadership Awards. All right? But you got to hurry because deadline is coming up tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, people. Now, it's for information and nominating forms, go to the Facebook page. Just head to Facebook and search for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. You'll find all the info that you need to know. Also, the Roswell Chamber of Commerce page and the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico has the info you need to know on nominating someone of character, someone you feel stands out as an outstanding community leader right here in Roswell for the 25th Annual Community Leadership Awards. The categories include the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Outstanding Leader Award, the Award for Commitment to Youth, and the Leadership Roswell Alumni Award. Criteria for each category is limited to the nominating form. Again, the deadline is tomorrow, so you got to get it done if you want to nominate somebody for this award. Get it done by tomorrow. And again, nominations waiting for you. The nominating forms over at the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's Facebook page, the Roswell Chamber of Commerce page, or the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico's museum's Facebook page. It's all waiting for you right there. You can also head into the museum itself and get yourself an application. But again, deadline is April 1st, so get that done. If you want more info, you can email condor@dfn.com. That's condor@dfn.com. So get it done if you want to nominate an outstanding community leader right here in our great city for the 25th Annual Community Leadership Awards. Hey, Vitalant is, they want to let you know that they are testing all blood donations for COVID-19 antibodies. Starting, actually last month they've been doing this. When you donate blood through Vitalant, you can learn if you have the antibodies to the virus that causes COVID-19. Now, I know we're on the downward slope for COVID-19. It's still out there. There's a new subvariant of Omicron that's apparently rearing its ugly head in different countries, and I guess it's sort of showing up here in the States. I don't think it's shown up in New Mexico, but that being said, never can be too careful. And they're already talking about a 4th vaccine. Please don't stick me again. I know they're only saying it for like seniors and immunocompromised, but I'm good. I got 3 in me. I think that's enough, right? But if you want to schedule an appointment to donate, visit vitalant.org or contact 877-25-VITAL. Donators who meet all eligibility requirements can give regardless of COVID vaccine status. Donors who've recovered from COVID-19 are eligible after a brief waiting period. Now, masks are optional at Vitalant donation locations except where required by local regulations. or blood drive hosts. Complimentary masks, by the way, available at all Vitalant sites. Again, vitalant.org if you want more info on donating, or if you want to schedule yourself an appointment. We good? Are we good? I'm looking at the producer right now, trying to figure out if we are okay to go. So yeah, we're ushering the guest into studio as we speak. Hopefully, we'll get that going here in just a few minutes, because I've chewed enough clock dog on it. Hey there! Good morning. As they make their way into the studio, we're gonna get you on 3 and 4. All right. It's all happening right here in front of you, folks. Live radio. Seat of your pants. Joining us in studio this morning, Miss Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Desi Aguilar from the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. I had to remember which hat you were wearing today.
That's today.
How are you guys doing this morning?
We're good.
Good
Great.
to hear it. Good to hear it. So you guys are mighty busy here lately. Obviously, with the leadership awards, we were just chatting about coming up here in the very near future. The deadline tomorrow for those. But then the other thing that's going on is the teen leadership event that just went down. Correct?
Last week.
Absolutely. Right. Yes, that was a big event, and a lot of activity happening from that event.
Yep, we worked all year long building this thing up, and finally came to.
So how was the event itself? Like the attendance was it packed out? I mean, a lot of promising youngins.
Desi knows my philosophy, and my philosophy is we don't extend deadlines. And thank you, Lord Jesus, we were full. Right. With no extension of deadlines. So that's awesome. A good thing.
That's fantastic.
That we're always talking about the day in the time of mañana, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, the land of mañana. That's where we live.
Well, we didn't extend it, and we were full, almost, anyway.
We're actually over.
We were over.
We turned a couple of kids away, and then we had a couple that were unable to attend. One was ill, and another one, I can't remember what happened. But no, we had a full house. It was just the right number. It worked out perfectly.
Very cool. So what does the teen leadership event entail? Like what all goes into that weekend? What happens?
Well, each year we have a different theme. Okay. This year our theme was embracing the challenge, your values and strengths in action. And the Institute actually comes up with the theme each year, and Eric Evertson does a great job of putting together that whole curriculum for that. And
shout out to Eric.
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
But he put together a great program this year. The first day they talked about everyone's values and their ethics and morals and stuff, and then the next day built on that, using each of the students' strengths and how they related to that. So they tied it all together.
Gotcha. And that's something that definitely needs to be focused on is accentuating those strengths and knowing where you excel in certain areas, and also leaning on other people and their strengths. That teams together can make amazing things happen. You just got to accentuate each other's strengths.
That's exactly from a quote from a parent. This particular parent said, "Every student in Roswell deserves these opportunities," right. and we 100% agree.
We tried to open it up to everyone. Well, we did open it up to everyone. All the juniors and seniors around the whole area.
If we could, we'd have a lot more. Right.
Right. We would love to have more representation from all the schools, but we didn't get applications from a few schools, and we're kind of hoping that would be different this year, but hopefully next year we can get all the schools around the area to send somebody at least.
Absolutely.
Ideal scenario is all surrounding schools, right. And that was one of Desi's goals, and I appreciate that, is we want diversity coming from all schools and bringing them together, because when they're leaving, they can pull out.
Yeah, this year we even had one from early college, and we didn't have one last year.
That's right.
So that was good growth there.
Yes.
Last year we had one or two from Artesia. But they weren't able this year.
Right.
So, I don't know. We're just trying to get more diversity from all the schools.
That's important, because leadership comes from all facets, all walks, all corners of life. You never know where you're going to find the next leader of our community.
Right. And there's so many out there in every school.
Absolutely.
And we're kind of trying to challenge all the schools to do it, because there are some of those that didn't send any, and we'd like to challenge those to get somebody out there next year.
My favorite comment comes from the students, and it's the majority, is it's never long enough. And Sean, we extended it this year, and they're saying they want more.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's a good problem to have.
It is.
If they want more.
You're presenting them with challenge after challenge after challenge, and they're just saying, bring it on.
Are you kidding me?
More.
The teachers can't get kids to, and for them to say that, that's amazing.
It is.
And then, one of the survey questions we asked them at the end is like, would you recommend this? And they all say yes. They would want their friends and family members, whoever, to also be a part of this.
Absolutely.
I think on the downside, if there's one downside of it, it's just hard making those selections at the end. And shout out to the peers. Their peers have to make those decisions.
Right.
And we could absolutely see a time where we wish we could give almost every student there deserves something.
And this year we did change it up a little. We gave them a grading sheet and a lot of different aspects to look at to kind of rate their peers. And we had team leaders as well to kind of look at
so
each
basically
student.
it was almost like you made it more democratic. It was more of a vote, almost like a voting system. Or class ranking system.
A ranking.
But by your peers.
Yes.
Which that's also presents an interesting thing, because you have to individually rank your peers, and that's a lot of pressure,
Right. Well, and they also had to kind of justify why they were saying it's not saying tell me who's your favorite. No, that doesn't work.
Right.
So,
what skills or what leadership qualities did this person show, and give me an example. Exactly. So that's what it's about. But obviously, big scholarship money was available. $3,500, I believe was.
No,
lot more.
I'm sorry, we exceeded that by a lot.
See,
that was our
what
minimum goal.
But Sean, that's what we started with.
They never tell me the need to know info around
But the good thing is, bottom line,
we gave $8,000.
Wow! Isn't that amazing?
That's fantastic. That is awesome.
And that is because of several generous sponsors. And of course, we'd like to mention those. The Leadership Roswell Alumni Association, of course, is the one that put this whole show on. And New Mexico Military Institute also contributes not only the personnel, the programming, lots of goodies they gave the kids. They gave all of our meals and snacks.
Right.
They did amazing. So I'd like to thank the Institute for that as well. The NMIR OTC also donated some items. New Mexico Department of Health gave some materials to put into some
added
more
to those amazing swag bags.
Yeah. ENMUR also donated some swag bags as well. So
nice.
they had swag bags both days.
Very cool.
And so tons of stuff in there. Pioneer Bank, Armstrong Energy, XL Energy, New York Life, Character Council Chavez County, Church on the Move, and the Chase Foundation all were donors of money for the scholarships this year.
That's awesome, and every cent that was donated is going to very worthy people that earned it and are going to put it to good use.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Absolutely,
that's awesome. So we want to give some shout outs as far as who walked away with their scholarships, or do we have the info available?
Yes, we do.
So obviously it was based on the ranking system by their peers, but there was other criteria that went into making the decision, I would assume?
Yes. We also had this year a little different setup with teams. So we broke all the students into different, I guess call them teams.
Team settings.
5 different teams, and each group had 5 to 6 students each, and kind of created a little sense of bonding between each other, and then also the competitiveness between the teams. So made them push each other a little more. So,
team building and a little extra competition. I watch Survivor. I get it. I totally get it.
But it just mimics a society, and me, I'll put my character counts hat on for a second. Isn't that what life is about, is pulling together different entities, coming together and working together for a good to achieve something they never dreamed they would have thought.
Absolutely.
And quoting from one of our individuals that attended this, hey man, I came in for the scholarship. I left not caring about the scholarship. Right. What I got was so much more valuable. Right. Incidentally, that gentleman did get a scholarship.
He
wasn't he wasn't one of the top recipients, but quite frankly, he didn't care.
Right.
And that priceless. Absolutely. So I think everything that's going on now, I think these kids are taking home valuable things they can take home to the families, and it's the trickle effect.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And they're encouraging all their friends. And we had quite a few juniors this year, actually.
That's a great thing. So we're looking. I was thinking about that the other night. I'm really excited about next year's class because that game's on. Those juniors are coming loaded, and then we'll get some others fired up. That's going to be really exciting.
We had a couple of seniors this year who came last year as juniors.
Yes,
so.
It's going to be like a almost like the Hunger Games style competition. Like we've been through it a year, man.
That's right.
We rode through the trenches. We know exactly what to expect.
Yes, but we are very, very excited to announce the Teen Leadership Institute 2022 scholarship recipients. Yes. Talissa Espinosa, Roswell High School, $1,000.
Awesome.
Simon Anaya II, Goddard High School, $1,000. Cool. Herbert Quintana III, CJ. CJ. Hello, CJ. Maybe he's listening. You never know. New Mexico Military Institute, $1,000. Noam Emerson Fleming, New Mexico Military Institute, $750. Richard Areola, Roswell High School, $750. Ava Jameson, Goddard High School, $750. And then we've got 4 $500 recipients: Sydney Crow Goddard, Nayeli Cobos Dexter, and Koa. He's New Mexico Military Institute, $500. Kreitz, we call it Seth Kreitz. We call him Kreitz, New Mexico Military Institute. And then we also gave 3 $250. That's Javian Morales Goddard. Irina Quinn, New Mexico Military Institute, and Brooke Barrett. I think we all called her B. B, New Mexico Military Institute. Like and so shout out to each and every one of those. Absolutely. I always think of them as our family. Our family's growing, huh?
Yes.
Worthy recipients, every one of them. And I like how with the $1,000, the big scholarships, you guys split it up to maybe this is just how it worked out, but with each school getting some love.
It was. We talked about that at our meeting.
It naturally worked like that.
It was just serendipity.
That amazing?
That's very cool.
And another thing that was amazing to us was the division of winners among the teams. Each one of the 5 teams had at least a couple of winners.
Really?
It's amazing.
Like we didn't plan it that way. It just happened.
It's naturally split, all the different schools. Isn't that really?
That almost lends itself to what the program does in and of itself, because you put them in these teams. They had to kind of like, you got to figure out who's going to be the leader, who's going to be who's going to be the talker of the group, who's going to be the one who puts words into action. Each person has their role, and so in those individual groups, leaders stand out. And so it's not a coincidence that each group had some winners. It's because the winners stood out when they had to.
And they usually do, but sometimes you have those quiet leaders, and we do have a couple in this.
We do.
Strong, silent type?
Yes.
That's amazing, and we can learn.
But they earn the respect of their peers, and it's like,
isn't that awesome?
They recognize that.
And for as long as you guys have been doing this, it's awesome that you get a chance to see that the teen groups move on to eventually become, do the Leadership Roswell program itself and actually kind of graduate to the next class of things. And it's just awesome to kind of see that transition.
And another thing, we had one of our outstanding recipients from last year, Haley Gonzalez. She was part of it this year. She welcomed them and was part of that. I think that's an amazing testament.
And she actually mentioned looking forward to Leadership Program. So
well, she couldn't wait to know when is this event and how can I be a part of it. Again, that's an amazing testament to them just buying into this and seeing the value of the way they can impact so many.
I think that, and I know I try my best to take the silver lining on every gray cloud, but I think that the pandemic really kind of cemented in young people's heads, number one, how finite life is. Something could happen at any moment, but also how valuable time with your peers, time with in things like Leadership Roswell, how important that is, how vital that is, and to get kind of back to that normal of things this year, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. I mean, it's a maskless breath of fresh air, to kind of get back to normal. So I think that also, has sort of lit a fire under some young people in a lot of ways.
I agree.
If I could get one more shout out,
sure.
Eric Everson had a team of facilitators, some of the cadets at the Institute, and those were the students who helped out run the courses themselves, like the ropes course and the activities. So each team was assigned 2 facilitators each, and those guys are just amazing.
Well, a lot of them have come back from last year, huh, Desi?
Yes.
And they're, again, those silent leaders to me.
Right.
They're such a significant part of the puzzle that we could have never done without them.
Right. We could not have done it.
And it's so amazing at the end, Sean, because you saw these facilitators communicating with these kids and these leaders. I saw somebody walking down the street the other day with a shirt on, And that's an amazing thing. Something else is, Desi just mentioned, we had a formal dinner.
Yes. This year we had an etiquette meal.
Okay.
I know a lot of the students may not have been familiar with this type of thing, but at the Institute they have an etiquette dinner. Each troop has one, throughout the year to learn how to eat properly, how to the table settings, all the proper etiquette. Well,
and that blew my mind when I learned how absolutely just unkempt of a slob I am.
Right.
Like, you're supposed to face the knife a certain direction. I did not know that.
So we had Miss Jean Ann Dunn came in and
thank you, Jean Ann.
Yes, thank you so much. She came in and showed our group how to properly enter a room, how to behave, how to speak, pulling out chairs, and that's all the details.
It's such an important thing, but it's also such a bygone thing. You never see, the important things like that these days. Pulling out chairs for other folks, standing when someone else walks in the room. These are important things that they're kind of going by the wayside. So
instead of just a sack lunch that we would traditionally have, which we did the first day, but the next day we had a very formal lunch, and it was a real
shout
treat.
out to Sodexo.
Yes.
Is that correct? They did an amazing job. Even the adults were it took us a moment to take it all in, be very appreciative. But Sean, when you get a message from one of our students saying she went home and corrected her parents and was taking value in this, boom, that's amazing.
That right there, that takes care of everything else. That makes it worth the whole thing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And shout out, Desi and I want to really thank each and every sponsor and each and every guest speaker. Without guest speakers, that's part of the puzzle. And I think our puzzle is expanding.
Sure.
But we wanted to improve it. We were already sitting down, how can we make things better? But I'm going to tell you right now, without our leaders, every leader, team leaders, Lori Dudek, Matthew Chappell, Amber Dollar, Tim Aguilar, and Damon Graham, without those leaders, that was a significant part. Also a significant part is his guest speakers.
Right. We had last year we only had one guest speaker, but this year we had expanded that quite a bit. Of course, our welcome was done by Haley Gonzalez and Colonel Tate, who is the commandant at the Institute. They welcomed everyone. One of our lunch speakers was Tim Fuller with Character Counts, and he did a great speech for them. District Judge Dustin Hunter. We had coaches from the Institute. Coach Kurt, I don't know how to properly say his last name, so I won't.
He's Coach. We'll just
national champion.
We'll
Kurt.
just say national champion, Coach Kurt.
Coach Kurt. Also, Shelby Fortner, volleyball coach from NIMI, always competitive. Rick Kraft, of course, from Leadership Roswell. Pilar Carrasco from Roswell High, he went and spoke. Miss Jean Ann Dunn, of course, she did the etiquette part. And we just had so many other volunteers who went and helped us out. Just too many to name.
It is true.
It's awesome to see that the community come together. These people who understand the value of Leadership Roswell, of the Alumni Association, and of the team leadership event specifically, that we're instilling these values in kids at a young age. We're bringing up the next generation of leaders here in this town, and if we don't do it now, then we're going to be in trouble.
Right.
So,
and I really appreciate Desi and his leadership, because we're already preparing for next year, and we're learning what didn't work, or maybe not that it didn't work, but how we could do things better. And sky's the limit. We've partnered with the Mexico Military Institute, and I'll tell you one thing: I encourage people to not take for granted that very historical structure, which we take for granted and pass by. That's
every
single day. Shout out to New Mexico Military Institute and the rich legacy that we take for granted. And this just reminds me of things we take for granted and the many different facets of New Mexico Military.
And there's so many great people there that help run that show all the time.
Fun fact, have you ever seen the George Clooney movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats? It was shot here at NIMI. It was actually, they used the campus.
I've never watched it. See, that's amazing.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty funny movie. But yeah, you'll be watching the movie and you'll just see like the lineup from like the buildings, the skyline or whatever. And it's iconic. You just know that look of NIMI. It just stands out. But that is awesome. So obviously the event, a big, huge success. Big thanks to all the sponsors. I think one thing that I kind of wanted to touch on is I grew up watching Double Dare, so I love the physical challenge aspect of things. And the ropes course is always that's like the main event. That's almost like the thing that everybody talks about every year, gets excited about. it's a big deal. So how was the ropes course this year?
Well, having such a bigger group this year.
Right.
Last year we were not able to do that because we weren't on site.
Sure.
This year we were able to return, so that was a great addition back into the program again. Also having all the extra facilitators, so they were able to handle more students.
Sure.
And of course, safety being the top priority, they were always getting the helmets on, all the rigging secure, making sure everyone
carabiners and whatnot,
everything by the book. So that is something we're very proud of. Our students are always taking that so seriously. So
they really did. And we were at the end when Desi was texting me, "Where are you guys?" And we were late right there at the end at this critical time. But what we don't realize is we take those moments. This young girl, I won't even say her name, she overcame by saying absolutely no, but you know what, absolutely no. And she overcame all the fears.
Right. Really?
And they were all sitting there, standing there. And it was so great. I will never forget that moment. She was shaking so bad, she couldn't do her first goal. They said, "You're not done. You're going to the big side." And she's like, "What?" And she did. So we were late.
She dug deep and was able
Sky's the limit. And she was telling her friend, "I can't believe I did this." And I thought, yeah, and what's next?
Right. You've
so
leveled up. You already leveled up. Now what? Exactly.
It's all worth it.
these young men and women overcoming their fears and pushing themselves out of their comfort zones.
Yes.
When I remember the first time I went rappelling, this is years and years ago. First thing they did was they got me all rigged up and they said, "Okay, now you see that 40-foot sheer drop? What you're going to want to do is just lean over, just lean your body over.
The lean?
Just trust the rope." "Oh, okay." "How much does that thing hold?" "Okay, I'm in my head doing physics like
Easier said than done.
How's this going to work?
You gain weight with momentum, right? So I'm sitting here doing like Newton's second law of physics, like an object in motion. Am I going to hold? But once you overcome your fear, once you hit that lean back, you're on belay on, and you're doing your thing, it's otherworldly, and you really do. You take yourself up a level, and then you're now what am I going to do? Now what am I capable of?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we had kids climbing rock walls, and once everybody's done, they're like, "Can I do it again?" They were ready.
They're hooked, you know.
Absolutely.
And doing the zip line and rappelling.
It's special moments.
One thing you mentioned too that I hadn't even thought about was not having the program in person last year means that the returning students, the juniors last year, they're seniors now. This was their first time to get to do the ropes course.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Right.
That they actually were able to do the program, but also have that experience. That's really cool.
And another reason we wanted to do a full 2 days because there's just so much to do. And again, they felt like it wasn't enough time.
And that's a testament to Eric Evertson and that team of facilitators. They're going to overcome any obstacle. So to say last year was a down year, it wasn't.
No.
It was so different.
Right.
But you're exactly right. They're an amazing team of facilitators, and Evertson and that amazing team. See, my brain's already working though, Sean. Wow. What can we do next?
Exactly.
And next,
Right.
we need more Erics and more facilitators. Because if just those golden opportunities that could magnify and multiply.
The plan for
there's power.
The plan for 2023 starts the second 2022 ends.
really does.
Yes.
I totally understand that. and yeah, but another thing too is with the virtual aspect of things, it's sort of it is like an added element of a challenge to kind of like suss out leaders, to kind of eke out, because you're going to have to be able to duck and move and adjust to certain situations if you're going to be a leader, whether that situation is doing things in person, doing things through virtual or virtually, and being able to maneuver is the sign of a true leader. So it's kind of awesome that situation presented itself as a challenge to these teen leaders. It's just a cool thing.
And we're looking forward already to next year. We've got plans.
We do, and we're really excited about it. But without the community and their amazing support, none of this would have been possible, and we're just excited about it.
100%. We're already in the planning stages for 2023, and so teens out there listening, if you're let's say, sophomore now, you're going to be a junior next year, you're junior in the fall time, into the springtime, that would be the time to start thinking about it. Leadership Roswell, you could start yourself on a 2-year course to really excel and be ready for the next chapter of life.
That is right. And we have had particular students that it is a realistic opportunity for them to obtain a scholarship their junior and senior year.
Yes.
Right, Desi?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So there you go. Well, if folks want more information about Leadership Roswell, the Alumni Association, how do they go about finding you?
Well, we do have an email, a Gmail account. It's roswellteenleadership@gmail.com.
Okay.
And that's one way to do it. We always putting out stuff on our Facebook for the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association. That's where we go through that Facebook site. So
okay,
right. And if people are listening and want to be involved with Leadership Roswell, that'll be coming up before we know it. So pretty soon, this class will be graduating, and that will be
get some more helpers there.
Some more fresh blood. There you go. Bigger
That's
team.
right. Maybe some former teen leaders from past programs.
Right. But always around January, February of every year, we start giving the information out to all the high schools, the counselors, so they will have that at that time as well.
Very good. Very good. So find Leadership Roswell Alumni Association on Facebook to learn more, and they've got all the info that you need to know. Well, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you guys are constantly doing for the community. I mean, Leadership Roswell, you guys work tirelessly throughout the year just to pump out leaders and keep Roswell shining. So we appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thanks so much.
That's what it's all about. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. 14 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A teenager has been captured and arrested for last weekend's murder of his 17-year-old roommate in Roswell. A statement from RPD says Darian Penn is charged with first-degree murder for the death of Mason Mays. Authorities responded to an apartment in the 1600 block of North Sycamore and found Mays on a balcony. He'd been shot in the head. Police found Penn hiding in a bedroom closet of the apartment, and the rifle believed to have been used in the crime was also found there. The RPD statement says police believe Penn may have been under the influence of a drug or other substance and was possibly delusional at the time of the shooting. And a Carlsbad man learned he'll spend the next 35 years behind bars for kidnapping and raping a convenience store clerk last month. Kenneth Miller pleaded guilty to all the charges this week during his arraignment hearing. Police said Miller began a crime spree along Pierce Street on February 13th, ending with him barricading himself inside a convenience store after he raped the clerk there. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 13 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with that local weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. economy ended 2021 by expanding at a healthy 6.9% annual pace from October through December, the government reported Wednesday. It's a slight downgrade from its previous estimates. For all of 2021, the nation's gross domestic product, its total output of goods and services, jumped by 5.7%, the fastest calendar year growth since a 7.2% surge in 1984 in the aftermath of a brutal recession. The Los Angeles City Council voted Wednesday to end its mandate for many indoor businesses and operators of large outdoor events to verify that customers have been vaccinated against COVID-19, joining a wave of big U.S. cities that have relaxed the restriction. The measure received enough votes to pass as an urgent measure so it can take effect quickly after it receives the mayor's signature and is published by the city clerk. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Competition is a big thing, especially when your child plays sport. My child comes home from practice saying, I beat so-and-so in this, or I was faster at least more than 2 people today. As a parent, I simply am thankful to watch her compete and thrive to do better for herself. But for her, everything is a competition. Even the late, great Dale Earnhardt said that second is the first loser. Sometimes competition can suck the life out of you. You know what? Running the race in the spiritual world is different. Running the race is about keeping the faith. And oh, how we could use a little pep talk on keeping the faith these days. A guy in the Bible named Paul wrote a letter to his young disciples saying, I have fought the fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Finishing makes all the difference when it comes to God. So if you are thinking about throwing in the towel, remember, just hang on and keep running the race. God will be there in the end.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
I'd like to point out that study is it's offensive. I'm left-handed and thusly left dominant, and my shoes wear out faster on the left side. So your sample audience or the sample group that you used was mostly right-handed people, I'm going to assume, Goodyear. So maybe do some research. Maybe get more woke. Okay? Yeah. 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. Hopefully he'll be back inside your radios tomorrow, barring any kind of any more intestinal, or I guess in this case, esophageal distress. And then again, Monday, he will be out officially for his colonoscopy, which was supposed to be, we thought today, but it turned out it was supposed to be yesterday, so we ended up getting it rescheduled. He ended up getting it rescheduled to Monday, and then it was business as usual. He was going to be here in the chair today, but then, well, old man, wake up at 4 a.m. throwing up, had different ideas altogether. So that is where we find ourselves. But on this here Thursday morning, you got Sean Smalls inside your radios, bumping mics and all kinds of other stuff. Hey, real quickly, I wanted to remind you, and I mentioned this at the top of the hour, but I wanted to mention it again at the bottom of the hour because I have new information. The 25th Annual Community Leadership Awards. Now, if you have somebody that you want to nominate as an outstanding leader in the community, you can nominate them by getting their nomination forms over on the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's Facebook page. The update is they've extended the deadline to get your application in. So you've got a little more time if you haven't maybe decided on who you want to nominate. You definitely want to nominate somebody, but maybe you're torn between like 3 people and you got to narrow it down. Now you got a little more time to make that decision. That's going to be April 15th. They've extended the deadline. So if you can get your application in by April 15th, it will still be accepted. The categories for nomination include the Lifetime Achievement Award, the Outstanding Leader Award, the Award for Commitment to Youth, and the Leadership Roswell Alumni Award. Those are the categories that you can nominate outstanding leaders in your community. Again, get more information and nomination forms over on the Facebook page for Leadership Roswell, the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, or the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico's Museum. The 25th Annual Community Leadership Awards coming up quick. Get your nominations in by April 15th if you want to nominate a outstanding community leader. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't go a whole day without saying something about the Oscars. So a lot of people were waiting on pins and needles to hear what Chris Rock was going to say because he broke his silence. He hadn't broken his silence yet. He was kind of keeping tight-lipped. Pardon the pun. About the whole situation. Tickets for his stand-up show went from $47 one night and overnight went to about $241 a ticket. Some people paid in the thousands to get like upper mezzanine tickets just to see Chris Rock as he kicked off his stand-up tour. Well, it all went down last night in Boston. The crowd met him with a standing ovation. After they quieted down, he looked at the crowd and said, "How was your weekend?" Of course, that's obviously going to have a huge reaction. Then he said he wasn't going to talk about the Oscars. He said, quote, "I don't have a bunch of stuff about what happened. So if you came to hear that, I have a whole show that I wrote before this weekend. I'm still kind of processing what happened. So at some point, I'll talk about that stuff, and it'll be serious, and it'll be funny." Later on in the set, he said, quote, "Except for some other pretty weird things, life is pretty good right now." That was pretty much the only reference that he made to the incident itself. He got another standing ovation at the end of the show. So there you go. Chris Rock did not break his silence just yet. But I kind of wonder if he's not just doing this on purpose. I mean, think about it. He's got his whole show that he's written. He's ready to go on tour with this hour of stand-up. And this incident happened literally like less than a week ago, so he hadn't had time to process it nor write jokes about it. You've got your whole hour of stand-up. Obviously, you don't want that to go to waste. But not talking about it at all specifically feels like a cash grab, because you know there's going to be either a tell-all book, a documentary, a special. There's going to be something. And when Chris Rock breaks his silence for the first time, you better bet your bottom dollar that dude is going to get paid. So I'm not saying he should have held out the information, but I understand. Is it? We're not allowed to do that voice anymore, are we? But yeah, there you go. Chris Rock officially breaking his silence, but not really about the incident at hand. In fairness, he has kept Jada's name out of his mouth ever since all that went down. So I guess mission accomplished, Will? Hey, by the way, wanted to remind you that if you miss any portion of today's program, you can always go back and view it in its entirety over on our Facebook page once Tanner gets the interviews piecemealed up. Or you can watch it, in its entirety at ksvptv.com. Just click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab. Sometimes the words get all jarbled in my head. Then once Tanner gets the interviews cut up, you can watch them piecemeal over on our Facebook page. Just head to Facebook and search for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, and we'll get you set up with all the goodness that you need from us there. A couple of reminders, some big things happening this weekend. The Artesia Car Enthusiasts Car Show Main Street Cruise and Car Show is going down tomorrow night and Saturday morning into afternoon in downtown Artesia. It's a little drive over to Artesia, but trust me, the drive is going to be worth it, because starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we're going to be driving down Main Street with a parade and cruise where you get to see all the classic cars, shiny, new, looking good, and blasting the tunes. Because in addition to the cruise, I'm going to be taking over the airwaves. That's right. I'm booting out the normal talk you would hear over on AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. And instead, you'll be hearing this guy. For 2 hours, it's a nonstop block of the best in the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even a few 80s peppered in there for good measure. We're calling it the Sock Hop with Sean Smalls, and it's going down tomorrow night, 6 to 8 p.m. over on our sister station, AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. So make sure to head on over there to the Artesia Car Show and Cruise happening Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. and again 6 to 8 p.m. over on AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. That's where you can tune in to the Sock Hop with yours truly, Sean Smalls. So want to also remind you, by Talent, they are definitely in need of blood donations. We're always in need here in southeastern New Mexico, but especially over the last several months, we have seen a dip in the reserves of our blood supply. So donations are always welcome, always accepted, and the restrictions are starting to go down a little bit. And the good news, when you test, you also get to find out if you got those COVID-19 antibodies. So it's a real 1-2 punch for your immune system. You're helping out the blood supply here in the state of New Mexico, saving lives with that gift of your sweet vein gravy, and you're finding out how healthy you actually happen to be. Because we've been seeing an increase all of a sudden in this new subvariant of Omicron that's apparently a thing now. So they're just saying, if that thing could rear its ugly head, you want to know if you've got the antibodies so you're safe? Well, Vitalant can help you out with that. If you want to learn more and schedule your appointment to donate, visit Vitalant.org or call 877-25-VITAL. That's 877-258-4825. Donors who meet all eligibility requirements can give regardless of your vaccine status. Donors who have recovered from COVID-19 are eligible after a brief waiting period. Masks are optional at Vitalant donation locations except where required by local regulations or blood drive host. Complimentary masks, by the way, also available at all Vitalant sites. So there you go. Donate your sweet vein gravy and find out if you got them sweet COVID-19 antibodies all at the same time. Coming up on 9 o'clock, I'm going to pause here for Town Hall News. And coming up next hour, we sit down chatting with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society, talk about everything happening over at the Humane Society, along with the thrift store. That's next hour on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. OPEC's latest move is not expected to have much of an impact on high gas prices. The oil cartel and its allies, including Russia, are sticking with a modest increase in oil output. At the same time, President Biden reportedly plans action that he hopes will provide some relief at the pump.
An announcement could come as soon as this afternoon when the president is scheduled to speak about plans to combat rising gas prices. One plan being considered is releasing up to 1 million barrels of oil per day from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Critics question whether that will make a difference, since Americans on average use about 21 million barrels of oil daily.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Ukrainian officials say Russian forces continue hammering away at civilian targets despite Russia's pledge to start backing off. Fierce fighting reported on the outskirts of Kiev, among other places. Some 150,000 civilians are trapped in the besieged city of Mariupol. The BBC's Jessica McAllen says there is a deal between the combatants that could clear the way for evacuations to begin later today.
It will allow civilians to be taken to the city of Zaporizhia to the west of Mariupol. The International Committee of the Red Cross and the UN's Refugee Agency will assist with the operation. Previous attempts to establish a ceasefire in Mariupol have collapsed amid accusations of bad faith from both sides, and an estimated 5,000 civilians are thought to have lost their lives in the Russian bombardment.
And peace talks may resume tomorrow. Severe storms packing isolated tornadoes and high winds are racing across the deep south, killing 2 in the Florida Panhandle, leaving scattered damage to buildings and homes in their path. Severe weather a possibility today from Florida all the way up the East Coast into the mid-Atlantic region. On Wall Street, the Dow down 83 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you ready to retire? Inflation is picking up, markets are volatile, and the dream of a comfortable retirement is harder to attain than ever before. The stock market goes up and down is beyond your control. But you're at a point in your life where you can't afford to make big financial mistakes. I'm Al Labaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Our investment strategy allows you to go up with the stock market, lock in your gains, and when the stock market goes down, your investment won't lose a dime. This works for your investments, savings at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to help build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and literally never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences Board of Governors launching disciplinary proceedings against Will Smith for slapping comedian Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars last weekend.
The Academy says Will Smith's actions were a deeply shocking, traumatic event to witness in person and on television. He could be suspended or expelled from the group for violating its standards of conduct with abusive or threatening behaviour. The Academy says Smith, who went on to win the award for Best Actor, was asked to leave the ceremony, but that he refused. It also apologised to Chris Rock for what he experienced on the Oscars stage and thanked him for his resilience in the moment.
The BBC's Peter Bowes. The city of Shanghai preparing to reopen its eastern half and shut its western quarter, while authorities elsewhere announce a lifting of a citywide lockdown in the province hit hardest by China's coronavirus outbreak. News and analysis, townhall.com. The CDC is lifting a health warning for cruise ships.
Cruise ship sailings shut down not long after the beginning of the pandemic. And even when they restarted last June, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention listed the activity as a high or a very high risk. Now the federal agency is dropping the COVID-19 health warning attached to cruise ship vacations, although it will keep the color-coded system to classify ships based on the percentage of passengers who test positive. The CDC still expressed reservations, but says they'll leave it up to passengers to decide whether they feel safe getting on a ship. Cruise trade groups and operators are welcoming the move, saying that tougher restrictions imposed on their industry were unfair. Outbreaks continue to be detected. A Princess cruise returning from the Panama Canal on Sunday had multiple passengers who tested positive, but none showed serious symptoms and everyone had been vaccinated. I'm Jennifer King.
And again on Wall Street this hour, the S&P down 5.5 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday morning to you. Hopefully your Thursday is finding you well, happy, rested, relaxed, enjoying the weather around us. The good news, it sounds like, according to the weather forecast, the nonsense is behind us. A little bit of wind we got to deal with for the next couple of days, but smooth sailing into absolutely beautiful weather this weekend. A great chance to get out and see what southeastern New Mexico has to offer you.
2 more weeks of winter?
No, we're officially in spring now.
Good.
Yeah, no more winter. No more weeks of winter, doggone it. It's awesome. And
it's too cold.
That's right. I love springtime, mid to late springtime, and then summertime here in this part of the state because there's just so much to just go and do. Like, you don't have to just stay in Roswell. I know gas is $17 a gallon right now, but Sitting Bull Falls. Yeah, exactly. Sitting Bull Falls is so close. I mean, just go up there and hang out at the falls for a little while. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's just all kinds of cool stuff right here in our own backyard. Fun fact: did you know that there's a place here in New Mexico literally called the Middle of Nowhere? In fact, the Middle of Nowhere is a small town. I think it's in northern New Mexico. I have to find out. But it's specifically where the house that the show Courage the Cowardly Dog is based on. Like the house and the family that lived there, apparently. It's the story of Courage the Cowardly Dog, the cartoon from when I was a kid, is based on this house here in New Mexico. I don't know if the dog had a hole in his tooth or the old man was really as crotchety as that, but still, that story is based on true events that happened here in New Mexico.
Did you ever hear the theory about the fact that the only reason the things are so exaggerated in the show is because he's a dog?
Yeah, I have heard that.
I like that one too.
It's like things are terrifying to him, but it's actually just like normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I picked up on. I found something that literally it made me just laugh my butt off. I am thoroughly guilty of autocorrect mistakes. Ever have that happen? The worst is, and here's the one I run into is I voice text a lot. Like if I'm on the road driving or whatever, or if I just don't feel like typing, I'll just hit my text to speech thing and just voice a text. You ever done that when there's a radio on in the background and it picks up what the radio
I've
says?
never had it pick up the radio.
You've never? Okay, well, it doesn't do it for music.
That's interesting.
It will do it for speech. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here, but either way, this is one of the funniest things I've read all day. Okay, so we don't know what the job is, but basically, the woman lives in New York. She posted a screenshot from her phone after she got a weird text about a job that she'd applied for. They asked her if she was still interested in her, and the text said, quote, "Hey, Jasmine, I'm just following up on our paperwork appointment for Monday. Are you still interested in the position, you piece of crap?" I mean, that's... I'm just going to assume whoever was sent this was driving and got cut off in traffic. It was like, "Are you still interested in the position? You piece of crap!" That's all I can assume happened. Yeah. But other than that, that's. But anyways, she didn't end up taking the job. It was just a minimum wage job, she said anyways. But yeah, so be careful when you're texting to speech because you never know what's going to show up. And also...
That's why you don't send it until you look at it.
See, this is the thing, dude. And I've been so guilty of this so many times. I never proofread my texts. Never. I get it. I think what it is I want to get my thoughts out as quickly as possible or I'm going to forget them. So I type them up real quick and I hit send. And then I go back and I look. And I always do this. I go back and read. And then I send subsequent text messages apologizing for the things that I messed up and correcting the words that I messed up too. So it's only ever worked out like where I've said something wrong a couple of times. But other than that, it's just like, a J where there's supposed to be like an H or something like that. So. But yeah, so just be careful if you're voice texting, folks, because you never know what's going to show up at the other end of the line. Or just do what Captain Hindsight over here does, proofread. You did it again, by the way. Yeah,
I just like giving advice.
I appreciate it. You'd be a good therapist. See, what you should have done
some people just think I'm a smart aleck for doing that, and it's just like, no, I'm just trying to help you with your problem. Is that a bad thing?
Not necessarily, but I
mean, it comes off smarmy, I guess.
I use my problems as fodder for radio bits. So that's my therapy. That's how we roll.
Well, I need to get across the river. Well, build a bridge. Okay.
See, but that's not.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't need your help.
That's not hindsight, though. That's.
Well, you could have built a bridge.
That's forethought. That's actually helpful.
I had to walk around.
If I had to swim across the entire river, and then at the other side of the river, you said something to the effect of, "Well,
there was a bridge.
You should have taken that bridge that's down there 15 feet." It's like that's
but you didn't know the bridge was there. Now you know.
Now I know, and I'll know next time. So
it's a nice bridge.
It is a nice bridge. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let me give you the rundown for this hour. Coming up here in just a few minutes. Actually, there's a phone call right there. We'll be chit-chatting with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society, chatting all about what's going on at the Humane Society as we gear up for springtime. And, of course, yes, that means the temps warming up outside, so a good time to get outside with yo pets and let them experience the warmth around you. We'll get into that coming up here in just a bit, what's available at the thrift store and all that other good stuff coming up here in just a few minutes on this Thursday morning. Weird back spasm there. You don't care. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock on this here Thursday morning. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 45 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 63% and winds are calm at the moment. Enjoy that because it's been a while since we've had calm winds around here. Barometer about 29.99 inches with a dew point of 33 degrees. For your forecast today, looking at a high of 69 degrees, mostly sunny skies, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southeast later in the afternoon. Partly cloudy, dropping down to about 43 for the overnight low tonight. Winds going to be calm once again, only about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Sunny and 79 for the high on Friday. Winds out of the south 5 to 15, becoming northwest later in the afternoon. So that'll move in right around midday. Mostly clear and 39 for your Friday evening. And then as we move into Saturday, sunny skies, high of 83. Now, the worst part of your Saturday is going to be a little bit of wind, not even that much to make too much of an issue. Winds 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the north, becoming south 10 to 15 later in the afternoon. Other than that, it's smooth sailing into the freaking weekend. Sunny skies, 89 degrees for the high on Sunday with a overnight low of 50, and then kickstarting next work week with 78 degrees and a whole lot of sunshine. 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, we're sitting down with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. Stick around.
They're back. The Yucca Blossom Trade Show is back and even bigger and better for spring. Saturday and Sunday, April 2nd and 3rd. It's the Yucca Blossom Spring Into Action Trade Show at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. Even bigger than ever with over 100 vendors across 3 buildings at the fairgrounds. And there's lots of activities for the entire family, including the Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo, MJWZ barrel cars, a cornhole tournament, face painting, kids get your picture taken with the Easter Bunny, and so much more. Plus, the food. Some of the best and most popular food trucks will be on hand so you can spend the entire day. Enter to win the raffle with a drawing live on 92.9 The Brand Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Saturday, April 2nd, and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, April 3rd at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. The Yucca Blossom Spring Into Action Trade Show. Don't miss it. Find Yucca Blossom Trade Days on Facebook to see some of the amazing one-of-a-kind items available to you during the Yucca Blossom Spring Into Action Trade Show, April 2nd and 3rd. This invitation paid for by Holly Frontier Navajo Refining Company, a proud member of our community.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
I know he said linen, but it really sounded like he said women. Pretty sure women don't absorb that much moisture. 16 minutes after 9 o'clock, Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. And joining me in studio this morning is Mrs. Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. How are you doing this morning?
I am good.
Good.
How are you?
It's been an interesting morning so far. It's been a fun ride, but Mixmaster Mike hopefully will be back in the captain's chair tomorrow and everything back as it should be. We can all woo-saw. So spring has sprung in southeastern New Mexico. Temps warming up. Folks are getting back outside. The pandemic is starting to ease off, so we're starting to kind of get back out into the public.
Do normal things.
And we're taking along our animals with us, too, so gotta love that. Gotta love getting back out there for the springtime season.
Yeah, I laughed. So we pick up, like, the cardboard flats from various places in town because we use those as litter boxes. So we, like, if they make a mess, we just throw the box away.
Sure.
And then put a new box. Well, I laughed because one of the places we pick up is Variety on 2nd Street. Well, I pull up to pick up boxes yesterday and I hear dogs barking. And I laugh because, there's somebody inside getting their alcohol.
Right.
And took their dogs with them so they could go get them a puppy cone because they got their treat as their beer and their dogs are going to get their puppy cone.
Heck yeah.
I laughed. I was like, your dogs are in the car. He's like, oh, yeah. He goes, I'm just picking up my beer and then I'm going to get them ice cream. I was like, all right.
A treat for me, a treat for him.
Yeah.
It's awesome, though. Yeah, but yeah, people are starting to kind of get out and get social again. It's just really nice to see. And so you guys are obviously busy over at the Humane Society.
It is. It's very busy. We got a lot of people coming in for vouchers, trying to get their animals fixed.
God, I gotta do that.
Yeah, you got a boy kitty.
So Tony has taken to spraying. Did I tell you the ballad of Tony?
No.
So Tony, my youngest, he's a tuxedo. He got out about, we'll call it 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh no.
For like 3 days. Okay. There was a kitty outside that's been heating, and
Sir Tony made babies.
He sowed some wild oats, but he found his way back inside, and I've been militant on the front door ever since, making sure that he stays away. But yeah, he's yet to be fixed, and the spraying has really become an issue.
Yeah, come see me. I'll help you.
Thanks. Appreciate that. I'll hit you up. But yes, vouchers are available.
Yes. Any day we're open, 9 to 12, 1 to 4:30, which is Tuesday through Saturday. Bring your ID down as long as you're not already in the system. Give you a couple vouchers. They pay $150 towards a spay or neuter. If it goes over, you cover the difference. But you must be a Chaves County resident.
Right. And there's a place here in town, I can't remember the name of the place, but I saw a sign that does $50 spay and neuter.
That is the spay neuter clinic, which is only once a month.
Okay, it was only the once a month. I just saw the sign on Facebook. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so that is Fora. They've got a group coming from Colorado. They're working together on doing a spay neuter clinic where like feral cats are free. Cats are one set price and dogs are one set price, but they're only here for once a week, and they're already completely booked for April and May.
Oh, good.
So the vouchers that we hand out are for any of the local vets here in town. If it's a cat, depending on male or female, the majority of the time, the 150 covers it.
Yeah, I would assume, unless there's complications.
Yeah, and then like the small dogs, male, females, the 150 typically covers it.
Okay.
Larger dogs, you're going to have a little bit of a difference, but for the most part, the vets are pretty good about helping people when they're using the voucher.
Sure. Now, are you guys seeing, I'm just curious, are you guys seeing an increase in say, for example, more dogs showing up, more kitties showing up? Because, folks are starting to kind of transition into the new season.
So right now, our main issue is a lot of people are owner releasing their larger animals because the cost of food has almost doubled.
Yeah.
And, I have 2 large dogs, and their bag of dog food used to be $38, and it's now $58. The size didn't change.
Right.
None of the ingredients changed.
Their appetite didn't change.
Nope. And one of my dogs gets 14 cups a day.
Holy moly.
Uh-huh. So that 45-pound bag lasts me 9 days. Oh. That's $60 every 9 days.
Yeah, that's a financial commitment at this point. I mean,
and a lot of people, they just can't afford it.
Sure.
And I understand, because that's one thing we deal with,
on a consistent basis, which thank God for donations, because I mean, you'd be in so much trouble if it weren't for the kindness of the donations.
Right. And, luckily, we're able to feed a middle quality food where it's, not the most expensive, but it's not, your Dollar Tree dirt cheap stuff that causes intestinal issues.
Exactly.
But we do the best that we can. I know the pet pantry is doing as much as they can to help give people food to donate so they don't have to rehome their animals. But unfortunately, the cost of everything that's going up, everybody's just in a bind.
Yeah, exactly. We're over a barrel. It's the mindset of stagflation. Inflation, or prices are going up, but we're not seeing an increase in pay and incentives. So we're sort of stuck. Yeah, and that leaves folks like the Humane Society in a rough position, because obviously you guys still have to maintain your day-to-day operations, still have to feed the animals, still have to keep people employed, and it's just a challenge on every front.
And we still have a position open. We can't get anybody to want to work. Right. So the people that are there working are working extra because we're short.
Right. And then the fatigue sets in, it becomes an issue. So yeah, folks, if you're out there looking for work, they're still looking for somebody at the Humane Society, and they could definitely use the assistance. But
it would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
I'd enjoy a day off here and there.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah. It'd be a little bit nice to, sleep in once in a while.
Not to mention, it's such a cool incentive of the job. You get to hang out with, puppies and kitties all day.
And like one of the things, and this is a conversation I just recently had with my husband. So we have Denim and Yin Yang. They've been with us since January 21st of 2021.
Okay.
Yesterday, I got them situated finally for them to go to a rescue group in Washington.
Wow.
So they got to leave out at 5 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
15, almost 16 months. They were with us for 465 days. Man. You grow an attachment to these animals after 7 to 10 days.
Right.
So being able to know that these two are going to get to go somewhere to a good home, it's rewarding.
Yeah, it's like watching your kids go to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
They came out the program on the other side, and they found themselves a new forever home. That's
and then we had a dog that was owner released, and she was, okay when she first came in, and then about 20 minutes after being there, she decided she didn't like it and wanted to eat everybody. And unfortunately, we have to watch for that because that's a liability.
Right.
But after, us showing her that, we're not going to hurt her, nobody there's there to hurt her, everybody there loves her. She's a big old she's like a 120-pound lap dog right now. But seeing, where she was so scared of everybody that she would just pee herself.
Right.
And then now when she sees everybody, she still tinkles, but it's happy tinkle. It's not a terrified release.
I get it. I do that. So no, but that's the thing is, you got to think about it from the perspective of these owner released dogs. Yeah, the financial commitment is a lot to you, the owner. But think about it from the perspective of your dog or your in this case mostly dog, that goes from having a comfortable existence, consistent food, consistent love, attention, to being in a cage next to another animal that's barking. The smells are weird, and everybody most people know that smell is everything to a dog, and the smell of a kennel is completely different from any of the smells they've ever experienced. That's how they process everything.
We smell like a vet's office, you know. And a lot of dogs that have been to the vet resemble, like the smell as like, oh, I'm going to get a shot today. Okay, well, yes, they're getting a shot today because when they come to me, they get shots. But like they just resemble us with like a boarding facility or like a veterinarian's office. It all smells the same. The cleaning chemicals, the other dogs, the cats.
A lot of I've noticed the smell for me specifically is I think it's like the topicals that get used, like the combat stuff like that. That specific smell of that stuff is the sense memory I attach to the vet, kennels, places like that.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to get past.
And so luckily we don't have to use topicals anymore. We have chewables.
Nice.
So that's one less smell they have to smell.
Sweet.
No more dip tanks, dunking dogs in dip tanks. It's a nice little sweet chewy beef chew, and typically they all really like it.
Nice.
Very
cool.
So we don't have to worry about, applying anything on them and then worried about like skin issues because they have a reaction to it. We've gone to the next guard.
Look at that.
Where it's, a chew treat and bye-bye fleas, bye-bye ticks.
Flea control technology. It's come so far.
It really has.
That's amazing.
They have another one out. It's Bravecto, and I think that one is supposed to last 3 months.
Okay.
And then the next guards are once a month, but they're made from all natural, ironically, seaweed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
And then something else from the ocean that just repels and kills fleas and ticks. Wow. Obviously, they don't live in the ocean or water, so...
I would think the oxygen was an issue for fleas and ticks, although I don't know what. I've never tried to drown a flea, so I'm not sure how long... Oh, well, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how long you have to hold his flea head underwater before the bubbles stopped.
Ironically,
little tiny bubbles.
Because they live in ground, when it rains, the water doesn't affect them.
Really?
The only thing that will drown them is like alcohol-based because it pulls the oxygen from their lungs.
Nice. So ticks ruin their lives the same way most modern Americans do. Alcohol. Good to know. So,
yep.
Now that springtime is here, now that it's warmer out during the day, folks leaving their pets outside throughout the day, the work day, or whatever. What are some tips and tricks you would give to some pet parents if they're leaving their pooches outside for a longer period of time?
So if they're outside, right now our weather is pretty mild, minus the wind.
Right.
But just make sure they have adequate shelter at all times. Make sure if, the weather does change that they have somewhere to get in to get out of the elements. Make sure they got shade, because sometimes, 70-degree days on a hot, sunny day, can feel a lot hotter.
It was 74 the other day, and I was at a remote, and I got a sunburn. So it doesn't necessarily matter how warm or cold it is.
Sunburnt in the cloudy weather.
Right?
I'm so white.
No.
But, and if you have white dogs, remember, they will sunburn. Buy the baby suntan lotion, the SPF 1 million, whatever it is.
Right.
And put that on your white dogs because they will sunburn.
That's something that you don't really think about is because, they got the fur coat. You never think about a sunburn on a dog. But yeah, the lighter colored fur, that doesn't do anything to repel the sun.
Make sure to put it around their nose and then rub it on the tops and the bottoms of their eyes so it repels the sun from their eyes because dogs that don't have any color pigmentation around their face,
right,
the sun just beats at their eyes because they don't have any repelling.
It's like when you walk around on a sunny, snow-covered after, like if it's snowed after like a long time and then it's sunny out, that can give you snow blindness, essentially,
right?
Because of the white on the sun.
Right. So that's typically what happens with all white animals, and then they're typically deaf because they have no color pigmentation to absorb the sound.
Actually, it's literally making my eyes itch thinking about this. I can't even explain it.
But
sorry.
Fresh water, make sure their water's fresh every day.
Sure.
Shelter, shaded area, and if they're all white, sunblock.
Sunblock, yeah. Very cool.
Some toys to play with, give them some mind toys. They've got the treat teasers where you fill it full of treats, but the dog actually has to bang the treat around or the toy around in a certain way to get a treat to extract.
Like solving a puzzle almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Expanding the elasticity of your dog's brain. I like it.
And that, that keeps their brain occupied so that way they're not tearing up stuff.
Yeah.
They're toying.
They're playing with toys. Yeah, they're gaming at that point. That's really cool.
Gaming for dogs.
Yeah, gaming, exactly. Gaming for pups. Very cool. So walk us through the process. We do this, we talk about this pretty much every time, but let's go through the process of the adoption.
So when you want to adopt a cat, the cats are strictly indoors only.
Right.
If there are children in the household, we do require meet and greets with the children. Other family members that live in the household. So we basically require everybody that lives in the household to be present for a meet and greet to make sure that that animal gets along with everybody in the family. And everybody in the family is okay with the animal. Once the meet and greets are done, if there are kids in the house, as long as, there's no issues, the adopters are responsible to prepay for the spay or neuter, rabies vaccination, and microchip with the local vet.
Right.
And then our adoption fee is $50. We will deliver them to the vet for their spay neuter appointment, and then you pick them up from the vet.
So you just pick them up right from the vet, taken care of.
Yeah, right after the surgery, so that way they are basically looking at you as the rescuer. Like, those mean people took me and they did bad things to me, and you're taking me home.
And you came in to save me. You swooped in and saved me like a knight in shining armor.
The dogs are pretty much similar. If you have other dogs, we require the meet and greets with the other dogs. Same kids, household, family members, everybody that lives in the household required for the meet and greets.
Right.
But then we do go check your yard to make sure that there's nowhere for that dog to get out of your yard. So if the dog is outside, he has free roam and is not being chained up or tied up.
Right. And that's something that, you guys notice things that the normal, layman's eye wouldn't notice, like spots that could become deeper holes.
Right.
Areas that maybe the fence is in a little disrepair that could become a hole in the fence later on down the road. You guys can see that and say, well, maybe just take care of this and then we'll be good.
Right. And then, like if we do see issues, we'll tell you, okay, so right now in this state, it does not qualify. This is what needs to happen to fix it. And if you want to fix it, we'll give you X amount of time to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, well, then you don't qualify for this adoption.
Sure.
And a lot of people don't realize we're not just a pick and go. You don't walk in, pick your animal and go.
Right.
You have to qualify for an adoption.
We're placing animals in homes. You're not a shop.
If we feel that, it's not a good fit, we're going to say no. And we have the right to say no because we have their lives in our hands.
Right.
So if we don't feel it's a good match, we're just going to say no.
And I'd imagine when you deal with it on a consistent basis like the way you do, you guys can just read people. You can read situations pretty much from the get-go.
A lot of the times people can walk in the front door and I can just already know. Just by the look. And I'm like, okay, I know how this is going to go today.
Right.
And then, sometimes you get the one person that walks in there that you think, oh my God. And then you start talking to them and you're like, oh my God.
Right.
The tones change in the words.
But looks can be deceiving, but sometimes, the eye don't lie.
Right. But there's a lot of people, that they don't realize, it is a process that we go through. And we go through it for a reason. And it's to make sure that we are putting these animals in the best home that they can get into so they're not being returned to a shelter.
Exactly. Because recidivism isn't fun for humans or for animals.
No, because one, that animal does not understand why it's in the shelter in the first place.
What did I do wrong to end up here?
And then if it goes home and then comes back, that makes that animal a little bit more challenging to adopt because they revert in their friendliness. They become, withdrawn and, require more patience where not everybody's going to look and want that.
Sure.
The majority of the people, they want the happy, friendly puppy. They want the cat and kitten that's running around your feet purring and jumping all over the place. They don't want the shy ones.
Right.
So when you put an animal back into that position, it does mentally do some damage to them.
If you think about it, when an animal goes into a shelter for the first time, it's a shocking situation. They don't know what to think. When an animal goes into a shelter for a second or third time, they realize, oh, I'm disposable. I could just be thrown away at the whims of whoever takes me in. And they're not going to be as open or reticent to want to build a relationship with the next owner.
Right. They're not going to want to bond because they're just going to be like, how long is it going to be this time?
Right. Exactly.
So
it's like a scorned woman. If I could draw a correlation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so take these things in mind, folks, before you adopt. You're not shopping for a gift. You're bringing a family member home.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
You know, if you have a family member that you were choosing that might want to have an animal.
Switch over to that. For some reason, that mic just went completely dead.
How's that?
There we go.
Okay.
That was weird.
All right.
Huh.
Try this.
Let's do that. All right.
So if you have a family member that is looking for a pet and you want to help them, if you want to pay for it, by all means necessary. If you want to take that road and help them that way, but your family member has to be the one to pick the animal.
Sure.
They have to be the ones to qualify. You cannot just come in, pick an animal, and take it to them and say surprise.
Yeah.
They have to be willing to commit to the lifetime commitment that it takes for that animal. And, bigger dogs don't live as long, but, cats and little dogs, they live up to 20 some odd years. So a lot of people might not be wanting a commitment for 20 some odd years.
Exactly. Just remember, folks, these aren't, like we said, these are family members, not presents. And when you adopt an animal for a child, the excitement and newness of a puppy is going to wear off. Then the responsibility comes into play. And that's when the road gets a little harder. Are you going to put up or are you going to, shut up? That's what it comes down to.
Pretty much, and, the people that come in, I want my kid to be responsible and teach my kid responsibilities. That's fine. But in the long run, you are 100% responsible for that animal because you are the adult.
Right.
You are the guardian of not only that animal, but your children. So it is your job to oversee that they are doing what needs to be done.
Right. And much in the same way as children, pets need to be fed at least once a day. It's very important. I've found, or else they get very loud and obnoxious. So on the other side of things, over the thrift store.
At the thrift store. So we are going to be having some remodeling in our book room coming up soon. So right now they're doing a brown bag book sale.
Nice.
Cookbooks only.
Okay.
Because that's what we have a plethora of. And I mean plethora, like we could fill this entire room twice.
Everybody's got their own take on like meatloaf. So you got to write a whole book around your own recipes.
You know what's funny? The one book I keep seeing the most, 1,000 Ways to Cook Ramen Noodles.
Really?
There's like a bajillion of those books. And they're never the same, but they all have something similar. Beef or chicken ramen noodles.
Right.
Those are the only two flavors. They don't have the Asian. They don't have the shrimp. Nothing. Just chicken or beef.
Huh. Well, I guess they know they're working with people who are using a ramen noodles cookbook, probably have a limited palate to begin with. But yeah, I used to do the ramen cookery thing, and that's exciting.
So we have the brown bags there.
Cool.
And then if you fill it up as full as you can fit it with cookbooks, $5.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So you could totally change your culinary game for $5.
You could. Seriously, because they've got like the real high tech, filet mignon and grand poupon, whatever, to the ramen noodle cookbook.
Right.
So there's a huge variety of cookbooks. They do have a ton of DVDs, a ton of CDs.
Very cool.
I believe the CDs are like 50 cents a piece and the DVDs are $1 or $2 a piece.
Nice.
They are starting to put out clothes for Easter. They got a ton of Easter dresses for little girls, little outfits for the boys, a lot of ladies' dresses. They are going to start putting out their Easter items soon, so like Easter baskets and the little fake grass and the eggs, all that's about to be coming out. I think they're going to work on that this weekend, so it'll be out fresh at the beginning of next week.
Okay.
And then they've got a ton of dress shoes, men, women, and kids.
Really? I'm in the market for some new shoes, actually, so I will keep that in mind, for sure. You guys always have a ton of great stuff. And what I love about the thrift store is y'all work so hard to make sure that the seasonal thing is always, right there, front and center. You don't let things stagnate. So often you walk into a thrift store, it's kind of like, well, these items have been on a shelf for like, a year or two. You guys, there's always something new when you walk into the thrift store.
It is.
Really cool.
And so one thing that they've recently started doing is, I'm not going to say like recycling, but like they'll move stuff around. So if it's set on this rack for a week and nobody bought it, when they're going through like restocking, they'll pull it off and they'll put it on another rack.
Okay.
To see if, somebody will find it on this rack.
Right.
And then they're just continuously putting out new stuff, moving stuff around, keeping stuff situated to where it's nice and easy to shop.
Sure.
The back room, they've got some new shelving units that were donated to where it's really, really nicely organized. They're actually old shoe racks from the old Payless down
cool.
here.
Right.
But they put them together and made rows so that way, you know, they could fit like, you know, little plastic containers where it's got spoons, forks, knives. So it's not all just thrown in one little container.
Nice.
So it's all separated, you know, you got spatulas, barbecue stuff, the tongs, you know, they've got it all on the shelving unit. So that way you could just walk through and say, oh, hey, I need a few spoons, you know, and not have to dig through the big container to find a spoon or two.
Right. I had a Keurig coffee maker literally explode on me about 3 months ago.
Oh, no.
I'm scared to get a new coffee maker because of it. It's got me like shell shocked. I'm like, I don't know if I want a coffee at home anymore. I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to go to Starbucks. But you guys have obviously Keurigs. You guys have coffee makers.
They get a ton of those, a ton of them. And what's funny is like the coffee pot that I have at home, because we moved from our big house to a tiny home. Our normal coffee pot didn't fit on the counter in the tiny home. So I was like, crap, I need a smaller coffee pot because there is no way I'm going to work in the morning without at least a few sips of coffee because everybody will die.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
So I go over to the thrift store and I tell Camille, I go, I need a tiny coffee pot for my tiny home. So she's like, here's a little coffee pot. And I go, okay, I need something a little bit bigger and not that tiny. I go, because that's not even enough
That's a me cup.
Well, that's not even enough to get the day going.
Right.
So she's like, okay, there's some over here. So at any given time, like I can say, oh, hey, I need something, you know, and she will have, if not that item I need, something close enough to get me by.
Right.
And I'm a Tupperware fanatic.
Dude, same.
I love it.
Versatile. It's great.
You know,
incredible.
and, you know, I like the glass bottoms with the plastic lids, you know, and they've got to stack together and organize. 90% of my Tupperware has come from the thrift store.
Really?
Because people will get them as gifts and give them, and then they're like, oh, they don't fit with my kitchen decor, and then donate them brand new in the box.
I love people that adhere to kitchen decor because people like me who could give a crap, we come out on the other side winning. Because most of my Tupperware comes from Cool Whip. If I'm being honest. Cool Whip, can't believe it's not butter, Parquet.
So that, you know, and my husband laughs because before we got married, you know, when I had my house, he had his house, you know, I had like a china hutch and a half full of like just kitchenware, you know, like Tupperware. But then on this side, you know, like if I make something that I'm going to give to somebody, I have like the butter containers that it goes in. So that way, you know, hey, if you don't return this, I'm not going to be mad and haunting you.
Not gonna break my heart if you don't return my I can't believe it's not butter container.
Yep. Well, and then I started being sarcastic and I told him, I go, hey, because I would take him lunch. I go, hey, where's my containers? And he goes, I was supposed to keep those? And I was like, no, I'm kidding.
Right. Well, you know, we laugh, but growing up, and this is, I don't know if you had this growing up, I think it was Bama Jelly had the jars with like the designs on the sides. We had a set of those jelly jar cups, glasses growing up. And every kid I talked to from that age had those glasses.
Yeah, and it's, you know, that's what, you know, you finish the jelly and then that's what you would use to get milk, tea, whatever in. You did not throw those away. My grandpa made those into his shop, like with the screw lids.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he had a rack in his shop that he would nail the lids to, and then he would fill those jars with like this type of nail, that type of screw, and then he would just screw it up.
That's genius. That's a life hack before life hacks were a thing. That's awesome.
And then he would do the same thing with like mason jars. And then my grandma had like the old milk jugs, like jars where they would deliver them at your front door.
Right.
My grandma would still use those. She'd go to the store and buy milk, but then she'd put it in that glass jar.
Which, you got to think milk tastes better coming out of a glass bottle. If Coke tastes so much better coming out of a glass bottle, milk has to also, right?
So does beer, by the way.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. So we're veering off topic, obviously. But yeah, the thrift store has lots of
they do
cool items.
And kitchen stuff galore, you know? So if you love kitchen stuff, that's the place to go.
It's got to be tough for you, though. I mean, having such limited space now. In your new spot.
It really is. My husband, okay, so a lot of my kitchen stuff is packed because our oven is not a full-size oven.
Right.
So the other day I was like, I was going to make garlic toast. And I was like, oh my God, where's my kitchen stuff? And he goes, in a tote. And I was like, all right, you know, whatever. So I pull out aluminum foil, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I am making my own cookie sheet. So I made it out of aluminum foil, threw the toast on it, threw it in the oven, and he goes, all right. And I go, I'm getting my stuff out of the tote. So I was like, I just have to figure out which tote it's in.
That's the problem is I don't label anything. So it's like,
well, I typically do, but this time I labeled it just kitchen instead of like pots and pans kitchen. It just kitchen.
Just kitchen. Yeah. So that presents a problem when all
I
your
had
stuff is kitchen
4
stuff.
totes of spices. I was like, oh my God.
So I just did a spice wipe, got rid of all my spices, and I don't want to get rid of them because they're still semi-good, so I put them in a tote, and literally the stuff on my spice rack filled an entire 20-gallon tote. Like, I have a problem. I'm addicted to flavor.
And, me, because my husband, is a diabetic, keto diet.
Yep.
You've got to season things to make them taste good because when you eat the same thing repetitively, you get burnt out on it.
That's where I actually learned about seasoning was from keto.
So
does he do Crack's Law?
Who?
The Crack's Law. Oh, I'm about to change his life. I'm going to give you a keto recipe it was my go-to, and I would maybe 3 times a week have this. It is the best. They call it egg roll in a bowl too.
Okay.
But it's basically everything you put in an egg roll, just without the wrapping.
Okay.
It's so good. And they call it Crack's Law because you mix in a whole bag of coleslaw mix.
Okay.
Into it sucks up the fat from the hamburger. We are so off topic here, but I'll get you that recipe.
Yes, because I can only, my brain, when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh crap, carb.
It has gotten better in the recent couple of years, though.
But
say that.
Even funnier, the last cookbook. Okay, and so I went just to go look at the books.
Mm-hmm.
I found a keto bread cookbook at the thrift store.
A bread cookbook?
A bread cookbook.
Really?
It's got sourdough bread in there, 4 grams of carbs.
How?
I will send you the pictures.
Please do, because
yeah. And I was like,
intrigued.
hey, keto cookbook. And my boss that was, stacking the books, she goes, oh yeah. She goes, your husband, John, he's on the keto. And I go, well, we both are. So she hands it to me, and I was flipping through, and I was like, oh my God, it's got sourdough bread in here. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. There was 3 or 4 more of them that were keto for something else. But I was like, I just want the bread cookbook because I can keto everything else myself.
That was the biggest problem when I was keto was, what do I do about bread?
Him. Yeah. So I
tried the cloud bread. It was trash. I tried all the the Keto Connect bread that Matt and Mega showed how to make. That's just garbage. It just tastes eggy.
Yeah, I've tried the whole, egg full to make it, the hamburger in between the egg fulls.
Yeah.
Crisping cheese, making the cheese shell taco, and it's all fine and dandy, but you can only eat so much cheese without it affecting you in other ways.
Mm-hmm. And all that oil, you just
Yeah.
You just feel weighted down. I think the point we're really getting at here is visit the thrift store.
Yes.
At the Humane Society.
Because you can see all this fun stuff.
That's right.
We're just having a simple conversation about, one single cookbook.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what kind of conversations you can have, if you go to a potluck now that COVID's pretty much over.
Right.
And you take something to somebody, you can say, oh, I got this cookbook at the Humane Society.
Right.
And this is how I made it. Trust me. They've got a ton of cookbooks. We've got a ton.
I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. So yeah, stop by the thrift store and the Humane Society also. Let us have the hours.
Thrift store is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
Okay.
And then the kennels are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4:30.
Gotcha.
If you want to schedule for a drop-off for donations, call Camille at the thrift store, and that's 623-9210.
Okay.
If you want to inquire about the voucher program or any available pets, call down to the kennels, and that's 622-8950.
There you go. Are you guys still doing volunteers for dog walkers in the morning?
We are, and now that the weather is semi-nice, we're doing AM and PM.
Gotcha.
So we're just kind of scheduling them so that way, we don't have, multiple people, and then if there's an issue with the dogs not liking each other, they're not having problems.
Sure.
So, but call us. We'll get you on the schedule to come in, help us out because, they need the exercise.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, folks, get on with the Humane Society. They've got lots and lots of awesome items in the thrift store and some feline and canines that definitely want to find a forever home.
Yes.
Let's help out. Miss Crystal, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you back here 2 times next month.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
12 away from 10 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A teenager has been captured and arrested for last weekend's murder of his 17-year-old roommate in Roswell. A statement from RPD says Darian Penn is charged with first-degree murder for the death of Mason Mays. Authorities responded to an apartment in the 1600 block of North Sycamore and found Mays on a balcony. He'd been shot in the head. Police found Penn hiding in a bedroom closet of the apartment, and the rifle believed to have been used in the crime was also found there. The RPD statement says police believe Penn may have been under the influence of a drug or other substance and was possibly delusional at the time of the shooting. And a Carlsbad man learned he'll spend the next 35 years behind bars for kidnapping and raping a convenience store clerk last month. Kenneth Miller pleaded guilty to all the charges this week during his arraignment hearing. Police said Miller began a crime spree along Pierce Street on February 13th, ending with him barricading himself inside a convenience store after he raped the clerk there. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The average American household, $430 a month in lost purchasing power for this year, according to estimates. In other words, $5,200 a year. That means the average American household, the average American family, would need to earn $5,000 more income this year, not counting taxes, just to stay even with last year, $5,200. If you add in the taxes you're going to owe on that extra $5,000, you're probably going to need to earn another $7,000 to keep your head above water. And if you separate out or extrapolate out on top of that, the highest gas prices we've ever had, coupled with the 40-year high of inflation, we're up to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 per family. We can't afford it.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 9 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good over the next couple of days. Our daytime highs will be warming up starting tomorrow. We will stay a little bit on the cool side today with afternoon highs in the upper 60s, but we have high pressure over the area, so we get sunshine, a little bit breezy. Overnight down to the mid 40s and some clouds, and then we bounce back to about 80 for the afternoon high on Friday, and sunny, fair and mild for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Wow, what a way to cap off a doubleheader sweep. That's what the Goddard Rockets and their fans were saying yesterday. Goddard defeated Clovis in a twin bill. First game, no problem, 11-1. Second game, a little bit of a problem. Goddard was trailing 5-1 entering the 6th inning, but the Rockets got 2 in the bottom of the 6th and then 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Whew, they win the game 6-5. Goddard's now 6-8 on the season. Also yesterday in softball action, Roswell wallops Portales by a score of 16-0. The Coyotes softball team now 5-3. Today baseball, Gateway Christian at the Santa Rosa tournament. They're playing against Mora at 10 a.m. start. And you've also got softball action. Hey, it's Goddard against Clovis again. This time it'll be in Clovis. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. OPEC and its allied oil producers, including Russia, decided to stick with a modest increase in crude output, not enough to put much of a dent in sky-high gas prices. More Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week.
The Labor Department reports jobless claims rose by 14,000 to 202,000 for the week ending March 26th. The previous week's tally of 188,000 claims was the fewest since 1969. The 4-week average for claims fell to 208,500 from 212,000 the previous week.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. An inflation barometer that's closely watched by the Fed rose 0.6% last month, and the rate of inflation over the past year remains at a 40-year high. Stocks lower on Wall Street this final trading day of the first quarter. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907. Or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. 4 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. Hopefully he'll be back inside your radios tomorrow morning. If you missed any portion of today's program, remember you can catch our program in its entirety over at ksvptv.com. Just click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab and you'll be treated to the show in its entirety and all of its 3-hour goodness. Or you can catch it piecemeal because Hard R Tanner is going to be cutting the video up for you and posting that up over on our Facebook page. Just head to Facebook, search for 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Big thanks to Miss Amy McVeigh-Teas and Desi Aguilar for stopping by from Leadership Roswell's Alumni Association, talking up the teen leadership event that we just came off of and the great success there. Also, wanted to remind you, the deadline for the Community Leadership Awards for nominations has been extended to April 15th. So if you want to nominate an outstanding member of our community for the Community Leadership Awards, you now can do that through April 15th. Categories include Lifetime Achievement Award, the Outstanding Leader Award, the Award for Commitment to Youth, and the Leadership Roswell Alumni Award. Now you have till the 15th to nominate those outstanding Roswell leaders. Again, you can find nomination forms over on the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association Facebook page, on the Roswell at the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, or at the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico's museum. That's where you'll find all that info. So get those nominations in by April 15th. But yes, big thanks to Miss Amy McVeigh-Teas and Desi for stopping by and chatting up Leadership Roswell. And of course, just got off a fun chat, all things mostly involving animals, with Miss Crystal Smith Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. It's been a long time since I've done that. I'm surprised I slipped into that one. I can't. Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society. And of course, you know what, since she's still sitting here, give us the info one more time. But if you folks want to get a hold of you for adoptions or any other info.
Kennels are open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4:30. And the thrift store is open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
There you go. So you can find those interviews piecemealed up over on our Facebook page, 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, just as soon as Tanner gets those cut up for you. Also wanted to remind you, coming up, the Ace Car Show and Cruise is happening tomorrow night and Saturday in Artesia in down Main Street. The soundtrack for the cruise tomorrow evening is going to be provided courtesy of yours truly over on our sister station, AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP. we're doing something extra special. I'll be taking over the airwaves for 2 hours live, taking requests. So if you got something you want to hear from the 50s, 60s, 70s, or just something that's going to help you get into the cruise state of mind, the Hop line will be open during the Sock Hop with Sean Smalls. Call the Hop line at 575-291-7468, and we will take your requests, dedication, shout-outs, and all that other good stuff. The cruise happening during the parade tomorrow evening, 6 to 8 p.m., and you can tune in to AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP to listen into the Sock Hop with yours truly, Sean Smalls. Theoretically, if this thing is a success, we might actually do this a few more times in the summertime. We'll see what happens. I do kind of like my Friday nights, but again, I'm willing to give it up for the good of the people. We'll see what happens. And since we got a couple more seconds to kill, also don't forget, happening this Saturday, 4 p.m. at Grace Community Church, a night of hope and inspiration with Hosanna Wong. It's a free event. Childcare is available. It's happening at 935 West Mescalero Road, Grace Community Church, this Saturday, 4 p.m. Be there or be square. Be at you tomorrow morning, back in the Captain's Chair with Mixmaster Mike Winters, and hopefully we'll be with you as well. Travis and Sexton on their way up to you next, so stay tuned on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Be seeing you.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.